Florida State a perfect 7-0 and 5-0 in ACC play. The kick. Preston from the 3. Got an opening. And across the 25 and out near the 28-yard line. That's where the Florida State offense will go to work. Danny Kanell is their leader. They got a fullback who is a load, though. Pooh Williams, 10 rushing touchdowns. And Warrick Dunn, Gary has talked about. E.G. Green will start. It was a question mark because of a hamstring until about 10 minutes ago. Andre Cooper, the big hitter, and Kamari Charlton is a tight end. Lewis Tyre, 46 starts in his career. Shiver is a Lombardi finalist. Bates, Hernandez, and Fordham round out the front wall for Kanell and company. First down, Seminoles. Dunn. Got 5 to the 34. Virginia defensively. Todd White, who played high school ball against Warrick Dunn, and he was in on that stop out of Baton Rouge. A.G. Robertson and Ashman. Here's the leader in tackles, James Ferrier, Jones, and Sharper. The rest of the linebacking core. Ronde Barber, all ACC in the secondary last year with Ellsworth, London, and Williams. From the line, Kanell with a call on a 2nd down and 4. Pumps, wants to go deep sideline. Man open. He's got him out there and out of bounds. Andre Cooper made the catch, but he was wide of the line. Ronde Barber was covering.
You could see the thought process already from this Virginia defense. Do not give Danny Kanell a lot of easy throws in this football game. So how does Florida State react? They go right away with a hitch and go. You can see his left foot came just out of bounds, but that sent a message to those defensive backs.
Kanell's numbers, 25 touchdowns. Comes up firing outside, complete but hit immediately, and I don't know if it's enough for a first. Philip Riley made the catch, and I believe he got it.
And that's really the trouble, Brad, that Virginia's going to have putting pressure on Danny Kanell. I mean, they just snap him the ball. It's out of his hand. You could have the best pass rush going. You don't get to him. Those are the passes that Virginia secondary is going to have to take away.
Well, the first down of the ball game has Florida State set up just inside its own 40-yard line. Virginia shows blitz, backs away from it. And it's the draw to Dunn. Tries to take it outside. He's dropped at the line. Ball loose. And they're going to say it was dead right where he went down. Football came out. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
One of the adjustments already being made in this football game is number 3. Anthony Pondexter is a linebacker and a defensive back. In this football game, 5 defensive back. There you see him, number 3, forcing that ball. I don't know if that ball was down in that situation, but it's called down. That's the changeup. Only 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs.
2nd and 10. Kanell rifles it outside, and unable to hold it is Riley. Kind of tried to do the basketball dribble between his legs to find the handle, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
No, that doesn't even work on the basketball court for that guy right there. And those are some of the plays, Brad, that we saw Penn State make against Northwestern that kept Northwestern in that game. Easy drop plays right there. That was a completion. All he had to do was catch the ball.
As you said, Virginia needs help from Florida State to win the game. 3rd down 10. Florida State number 1 in the conference for their 3rd down conversions this year. Kanell with time, got hit as he threw, and it's almost intercepted by Joe Rowe. Ronde Barber back there, and Florida State will have to punt.
Well, this team has forced turnovers, and that's the goal in this football game, is to force turnovers, make Kanell throw the ball down the field, and come up with some early turnovers in the game, get the offense, and play on a shortened field.
Sean Liss to punt. Tiki Barber back deep. Nice high kick. Barber's going to have to take a fair catch call at the 19-yard line. 42-yard kick, and Virginia will go to work on offense for the first time tonight with their quarterback, Mike Groh. Groh, one of 5 finalists for the Unitas Award, and Kanell's on that list too. Medley and Barber in the backfield. Demetrius Pete Allen, he'll have to pick up some of the slack with Patrick Jeffers out tonight. Jermaine Crowell starts for Jeffers, and Derry's the tight end. And Augustino, their best blocker at left tackle with Rayleigh, Lachlan, Slocum, and Harrison up front for Virginia, the 24th ranked team in the country. Groh, play action on the first play of the ball game, and wide open. And down the sideline across the 40 is Owen before he's knocked out of bounds. 22 yards on the opening play of the game.
Play action pass is the way to keep that defensive front four from putting pressure. Virginia will shift in motion and play action pass. Owen is going to get this one. The dink and dunk, try to keep that Florida State defense off balance in the football game. The key to that, Brad, though, Virginia must run the ball effectively to keep doing it.
Here they run it for the first time, and it's Tiki Barber. And he got a tough yard and a half before Capers got him from the secondary. Florida State defensively, Tyrant Marion, one of their captains, back after being out a couple of games with a knee injury. Wilson, Wadsworth, and Roy, the group up front. Todd Reboll, since he and Bush have come back, Florida State against the rush has been sensational. Sam Cowart, the other outside linebacker. And Sean Hamlet in the secondary out of Hampton, Virginia. Hammond, Roll, and Capers round out the secondary for Florida State. Second down 9. Groh wants to flare it out to Barber, and he overshot it.
Nice play by Orpheus Roy that time, number 98, the defensive end. The guy that Bobby Bowden says really has to step up his game to be that outside pass rush. He came underneath that screen attempt and forced Groh to throw the ball high. But I like the way Virginia and Tom O'Brien, the offensive coordinator, is getting this game started. They get a run inside, a pass, a bootleg. They're keeping Florida State guessing.
And now Virginia with a 3rd and long, a situation they don't want to find themselves in much tonight. They'll flare it to Barber. He's going to be dropped before he got to midfield and about 3 yards short of a first down. Byron Capers.
You always wonder in those situations, you know, it's 3rd and 10. Why do you throw a 5-yard pass? Well, I think most mistakes happen on 3rd and long, and you got to school your quarterback in saying you don't have to make a first down on every 3rd and long play. Take what they give you, throw it. They may be a missed tackle. Let's be patient with the football. It's a long game.
Yep. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and you got to minimize your mistakes. Bryce the kick. The left footer lays one up high. D. Feaster with a fair catch. And Virginia's going to knock it down inside the 10. Excellent coverage by the Cavaliers punt team. No score with 11:54 remaining in the first quarter from Charlottesville. Their own 7-yard line. The big fella, Pooh Bear Williams, the first man through, and he got it out near the 10. Pooh Bear's a load. Still came in about 296 into camp. And he slimmed down.
Yeah, he's about 282 now. That's after being up every morning and having to run mile after mile. I don't think they're going to get him much lower than that.
No. Bobby Bowden said love him about 258. I think that's a dream. There's a hit on Dunn. And that time the defensive line for Virginia just collapsed the offensive front of Florida State.
And Todd White, I think number 91, is the guy that made the play. You see the late shift right there. Number 91 comes in, coming from the side. Dwayne Ashman, number 94. The interesting thing is Todd White and Warrick Dunn, high school teammates.
Yep, they talked this week. Todd said, Dunn said, hey, don't beat up on us. Don't run up the score. That's a little bit opposite of what a lot of people think might happen in this game. But Virginia is wired, you can tell. It's 3rd and 10. Kanell from his own goal line to Cooper and dropped immediately. Maybe got 2 yards, but Ronde Barber was all over it.
And that's the one situation where the Virginia defense is really happy with that throw right there. George Welch knows that on 3rd and long, and they're going to take a 5-yard throw. We just have to be a good tackling football team, and Virginia is a good tackling football team.
Sean List now will be in his own end zone, and he had one stuffed on him against Miami this year. Virginia doesn't bring any pressure, though, and Tiki Barber can wait on this one as it will go. Thought it was going to go out of bounds, but it won't. Rolls dead at the 42-yard line. So excellent field position for the Cavaliers offense and their second possession of the night. Coming up on Sunday night, NFL kicks off, and it should be a dandy. Brian Cox and the Dolphins defense trying to get back in gear against Natron Means and company. But it's a healthy Dan Marino against Junior Seau and the rest of the Chargers. The Dolphins and the Chargers, 8 o'clock Sunday night on ESPN. Fans are into this one early. Virginia and Florida State no score with 10:11 to go first quarter. I think a few of the fans finally have taken a seat. They've been standing throughout. Pass complete outside. Jermaine Crowell.
Jermaine Crowell is playing because Mike Groh's best buddy, Patrick Jeffers, is not playing. And he's one of the guys, as a true sophomore, that's going to have to come through in this football game, not get overwhelmed by who you're playing with. And when I talked to the coaches, they said he had tremendous ability. 6'4", as you look at Jeffers right there. He's the starter and the leading receiver on this football team. And, you know, sometimes, Brad, when you lose your favorite receiver, it helps you because you just read it out and take what's available.
2nd down and 2. For Tiki Barber. Hit in the backfield.
And
ball loose. Florida State says they have it, and they do.
I think Andre Wadsworth, number 85, the nose tackles, the guy who came right through that time and forced it. And talking to the Florida State coaches, they were really impressed with how he was coming on. Just as this ball is handed off, Wadsworth's back there. Marion is going to be the guy who ends up with that football. But boy, what a in the backfield before you hand off the ball. There's a turnover early in this football game already.
So now Florida State by the length of the football in Virginia territory.
Tiki Barber almost caught that thing up before he got hit on the play. The handoff was a bit high.
Kanell flares it out to Dunn out of the backfield. And Dunn got about 6 before Kearney came over there to make the hit. They do that a lot, Gary. That flare pass is dangerous.
It really is, because you've got a guy out there that you have to account for all the time. If he gets the ball and gets into the open field, he can go all the way.
Raynard Wilson, the man that recovered the fumble that set up this Florida State drive. Williams short of the first down. Todd White again in on the hit.
Really interesting attack so far in this football game for Florida State. They've been willing to run the ball inside. They've not thrown the ball down the field much. Just the first long pass. And that was just a show-me pass. Nothing much else coming across the middle of the field so far.
3rd down 3. Kanell looks left and comes back to the right, complete to Riley, and he's got a first down at the 35.
And that's what Danny Kanell does so well. Joe Williams, corner that time, was backed off so far, maybe 10-yard cushion. He just says, all right, if you're going to give me a first down, I'm going to just throw it out there. I'm going to slowly move you up and make you take away those hitches.
First down, Florida State. Play action for Kanell. Watch it all. Deep ball. Riley overshot him by just a bit.
Paul London, the free safety that time, did a good job of getting back there, but if this would have been properly thrown, they could have had a touchdown. You'll see it, Danny Kanell, a little play action pass. We can stop it right here. There's London. There's the free safety right there, the guy who has to get back and get into the middle of the field. But watch how this thing freed up. That ball could have been caught if it had been just to the left of that receiver just a bit more.
2nd and 10 from the 35. Kanell, nice play fake. Rolls and throws, and Riley's got this one for a touchdown. 35 yards. Kanell with his 26th touchdown pass of the year.
Hard to imagine with the way Florida State can throw the football on nearly any play that you would forget to cover one of their wide receivers. And that's going to be a bootleg action. But you can see those offensive linemen have stood up. That is a pass key right there. And then running, actually trotting down the field, Philip Riley is just the recipient of an easy one. And that is a gift of a touchdown. And you can't give any gifts to this team. They're going to grab some and steal some of their own.
Bentley for the point after right down the middle. With 8 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Danny Kanell, as he has done so often this year. The man that throws the touchdown pass, his 26th of the season. It's Florida State by a touchdown. That's Terrence Wilkins, flanked by Demetrius Allen.
Brad, I think I said earlier Northwestern in their upset of Penn State. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of the battle, but in Wisconsin, when we saw that one against Penn State, they did not make any mistakes, didn't even have a penalty. That is bad news so far for Virginia in this football game.
Pete Allen runs up on it at the 14-yard line. And slips on his own as he got to the 25.
Here's the type of unforced errors that I'm talking about if you want to win. Here's the two safeties, London and Ellsworth, and right here is Riley. Now, if you got two safeties back on a play-action pass, this is clearly a pass. Neither one of the safeties are any more than 10 yards deep. Well, that is a clear bust of a pattern. You can't, it's tough enough to cover these guys when you know where they are, let alone if you forget to follow them. And that is a bust that I'm sure defensive coordinator Rick Lance is very upset with.
First down for the Cavaliers from the 25. Groh, play action, look out. He's going to keep it. I don't know if that was a busted play or by design, but he got about 6 yards.
It worked, right?
It worked.
We're going to take it right now. Mike Groh is the type of quarterback that has to keep this game under control. He's a highly accurate football player with the ball, and he knows he's been studying for this game. We talked to him, and he's been watching film with his dad, of course, the defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots for this game. Watched 4 tapes with him. He's been preparing for it for the summer. He is ready. It's as his teammates ready to play to that level.
Second down on a short 4. Barber's going to be just a little bit shy, I think.
Seemed like Tiki Barber that time was going into the line and trying to read a bit much. I'd like to see Tiki just hang in there, just fire into the line of scrimmage and make some things happen with that football. He has become a more physical football player through hard work as you look at his statistics. He's put on about 15 pounds, and he needs to show that physical football play that a lot of people have talked about has moved him to the next level.
1,000-yard plus season already. Third down and 1. 2 tight end set for the Cavaliers. Groh's going to do it himself or try. He didn't need much, but he didn't get much either. Todd Rebo came over the top, but it's a first down on the quarterback sneak. Groh, who came in as a relief quarterback for George Welsh last year against Florida State and threw 2 touchdown passes. Mike was 8 of 12, 92 yards and a couple of touchdowns last year.
We visited with George Welsh yesterday. He said he believes that his football team will play better because of the Michigan and Texas game. They've played great universities already. No use being intimidated by this team.
Little option. Barber's got the corner already. Tiki Barber might have a touchdown. One man to beat. Forget it. He's gone. What you call making up for an earlier fumble. 64-yard touchdown.
Well, Tiki Barber is too fast to get him into the football field. He turned that corner. He had an 81-yard run against Michigan. When you get him in space, he shows how fast he is. But I'll tell you, one of the wide receivers, Jermaine Crowell, did a nice job of not clipping on that play and just bumping him. He knew that Barber had the corner, and it was 6 points.
Rafael Garcia's point after has tied this game up. Second longest run allowed by Florida State all year, and that's the man that did it. With 6:09 to go, first quarter, we're dead even in Charlottesville. George Welsh Cavaliers go 75 yards in 4 plays, and 64 of it was in a hurry by Tiki Barber.
Brad, execution gives you big plays, and in this execution, the quarterback's executed the option. But watch a couple of key blocks in this football play right here. Right after pitch, stop it right there. This is Medley, the fullback. He's going to knock down the free safety Hamlin on this play. Then he's going. Then from the left side of your screen, Crowell, the sophomore's going to come in, 3 right there. And watch how he doesn't throw the bump against Capers. He just nudges him off like a pick in basketball. He knew Barbers was going to score on that play. He didn't do anything dumb. They get a touchdown on the play. Very nice execution. Crowell did a nice job of not making a mistake.
Tiki Barber, tremendous speed, despite the fact that he has bulked up a little bit. And Tom O'Brien, the offensive coordinator for the Cavaliers, said, you know, some people thought he lost speed just because he got heavier. I didn't see any lack of speed there.
Well, he was 4.2. Now he's slowed down to 4.3.
Garcia to kick. To the goal line. And Rock Preston will bring it. And got out to the 20. Nice hit on the special teams. Sam McKeever got down there to make the stop. So Florida State find themselves in a rather strange position. Here they are tied in a football game at this late stage, if you will. 6:04 remaining in the first quarter. They haven't trailed much all year, I'll tell you that much.
Well, and clearly, though, Virginia is the best football team they've played. Everybody has talked about this schedule, and this is the first time they've gone into a hostile environment. They've only played one road game all season.
The Duke game, remember, was in Orlando, and that was a decided Florida State crowd. Trust me, I was down there that weekend. From the gun, Kanell, plenty of time. Danny goes across the middle, incomplete. Looking for a flag was Melvin Pearsall. He didn't get one. The coverage by Jamie Sharper, the linebacker.
Key for Virginia in this football game, they must get to Kanell. They must hit him preferably before he throws the football. But you know what, Brad? They even have to hit him after he throws the football. If Kanell's jersey doesn't have any grass stains on it, bad news.
2nd down 10. Rifles this one to Cooper, and he dropped it. And Florida State's dropped a couple of passes.
Well, actually, that's the 3rd drop ball in this football game for Florida State, and that is what Virginia needs. They can't do it alone. They need some help, and this is the atmosphere when you haven't played a lot of these tough games that you get into, that you count on the other team making mistakes. Perfect throw, right in his hands. Cooper drops the ball.
3rd down 10. Kanell steps up and airs it for Cooper long. Incomplete. Ronde Barber broke it up. We talked to Rick Lance, defensive coordinator, and I said, Rick, is Ronde playing as well as last year when he was all ACC? And his eyes got beady, and he said, we had a couple talks with Ronde this week. I think he'll play better. Well,
at this play, he made an excellent play. He was very patient. He didn't interfere. He saw the ball. He tracked it. He tracked it. At the last second, he put both hands up and got his hands on the play. Perfect technique.
Lists the punt. Barber fields at the 40. And he got about 9 on the return. And great field position again for the Cavaliers. As Danny Kanell on the sideline has 1 touchdown pass, but he's also seen a couple of 3-and-out situations by the Seminoles.
When you use a shotgun offense, as you look at his stats, 5 for 12, but remember, they've dropped 3, so he really has 8 on-target throws in this game and only 4 incompletions. But what I think is really important in this football game is he has to have patience now with his receivers. He can't go away from those hitches. I don't think he will. His coordinator, Mark Wright, won't let him, but he has to have patience with their attack. That's what makes it go, the short passing game.
Mike Groh on play action. Got a man wide open on the sideline, and he got it to him. It's Demetrius Allen. And the man they call Pete has got a first down to pick up at 13.
Demetrius Allen ran a comeback to the outside of the formation, and he beat Roll. Watch, Roll gets turned around completely. He is sold. That is very poor technique. When you're beat by 10 yards, that is too much, and that is something that Tom O'Brien, the offensive coordinator, will file away and say, with one-on-one coverage, we can do it. And Brad, you know, when we talked to some of the coaches, they said the wide receivers for Virginia were confident they could beat these guys one-on-one. The key, did we have time to do it?
So far they have. And now it's Tiki Barber on a draw from the spread offense and down to the 31, and that looked a little more like Florida State's offense, and that got almost 7 for Barber.
I think Bobby Bowden knew his football team would be in for a tough game in this stadium, in this atmosphere, and knowing that the Virginia team was battle-tested going up to Michigan and going to Texas, games they could have won, obviously, and they wouldn't be intimidated by Florida State.
Austin, the final play in Austin, the final play against Michigan. First down run for Barber inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Remember, Virginia opened up their season, and this is what they saw on the final play of the game as the mercury rose
just
in the corner, just enough for a touchdown. And then into the wind, Texas 50-yarder. Dawson prayed his way into that one. That's a tough way to lose, especially twice in one season. And that's what they've had to battle back from. They've lost 3 games by a total of 7 points. They're playing number 2 Florida State tough right now. Flag down as Groh fires complete. It would be a first down at the 11-yard line to Pete Allen, but again a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage.
Florida State jumped off sides. Virginia will decline it on this play. Another rollout. They get to the outside of the pocket, and another strike from that man right there, Mike Groh. When you watch films, Brad, of Virginia's pass offense, I don't know if anybody teaches any better than the Virginia coaches in their pass offense. They have great technique. Their route running is superb, and they use all of their weapons. 6 different receivers have caught more than 10 passes.
They haven't used Bob Neely yet, their tight end, but he is a big target coming off an injury. They love him. Here's Tiki Barber, and he got down near the 8-yard line. They can get a first down inside the 1, so it's not a goal-to-go situation right now for Virginia, as we're under 4 minutes in the first quarter and tied at 7. That's Tom O'Brien, the offensive coordinator.
And one thing he told us yesterday is there's a high tendency from Florida State to blitz a lot in the red zone. He will be prepared for it. He'll keep a tight end in. He'll try to get one-on-one coverage outside. Inside
the red zone, they've only missed 1 field goal. Otherwise, 20 touchdowns and 8 field goals in 29 trips.
Here comes the blitz.
And a whistle before the snap.
Yeah, I think that time someone just moved. I think it was Britton, number 63, just flinched a bit.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Second down.
The problem here is now that it's second and almost goal to goal, they can't get a first down. Is it probably will take them out of that blitzing situation, and a play that they had one-on-one, audible was already made by Mike Groh right there. Now you have to retool. What are they going to do? And it's a guessing game with Mickey Andrews and Tom O'Brien again.
Bird and Crowell, the wide receivers. Play action, Groh, and trying to throw a slant that's intercepted. Tipped at the line and picked off in the secondary by James Colsey. Well, we'll never know if that would have been the right play, because somebody got a hand on it at the line of scrimmage.
I'm not so sure that it wasn't Wadsworth, the big number 85, 6'4" guy up front, but it was a slant play. Whenever you throw the ball short, you have to throw through the seams. It was 85, Andre Wadsworth, the nose tackle that got the ball up there and picked up in the air, and you never know. You're exactly right.
Andre Wadsworth, Longfellow, with his arm up in the way there.
And that's what I talk about, those unforced errors, Brad, constantly, if you're going to upset anybody. The flinch of the guard to play by before changed the call in the next play, and it cost Virginia.
Tied at 7. Virginia with an interception and a fumble, but tied with Florida State. Warrick Dunn bangs his way across the 10. For his size, he is a physical little guy.
Isn't he just a wonderful football player? Bobby Bowden doubted if he could take the punishment at this level. He had to prove it. Yeah, I think he's proved it.
I think so. 5'9", 178-pounder. And Gary, with your Eric Metcalf analogy, I hadn't heard that yet.
I really like the way he runs.
Yeah.
He runs with his eyes open. He could play slot receiver, but he's really comfortable in this shotgun.
Second down 3. Kanell wants to throw a screen, and he throws it in the ground. Poobear Williams couldn't find an opening, and you would think Poobear could make his own opening. He's the guy that was the intended receiver. Todd White putting a little bit of pressure on the quarterback.
Todd White did put pressure, but number 90, Tony Agee, is the guy who reads the screen and gets out there right there and doesn't allow Kanell to throw it. Good coverage, good awareness. They know screens are as part of this shotgun offense. They'll use it. When you got your defensive lineman thinking within the game plan, you have an opportunity to make plays. 3-3-5 front for the defense of Virginia.
See the 2 out of 5 on third down conversions. Kanell, deep ball at Cooper, and this one he's got. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Hitch and go on Ronde Barber. If you've got a guy that makes a lot of interceptions, remember, he wants to intercept the ball. So give him that little hitch and go. A little bit of a stutter right here. Ronde Barber thinks it's going to go. Actually, Cooper just ran right by him. I don't know what Barber was seeing on that play. And boy, put in the field of play that time, and Cooper almost stayed in and let him pass him by.
First down at the Virginia 45-yard line.
It was a little of a hitch fake by the quarterback. Cooper just kept running.
Kanell flares it out to Preston, and Preston picks up about 8. Rock Preston, he comes in to spell Warrick Dunn, and they don't lose much at all.
Well, Rock Preston and Warrick Dunn came in the same recruiting class to Florida State. Preston got redshirted when Dunn played early, but they are really clones of each other, and they will play. And I look for both of them to play in the same backfield a little bit in this football game tonight.
Second and short. for Florida State. 2 yards to go with 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Straight up the middle, and looks like a first down for Williams. Jamie Sharper and Skeet Jones in on the stop, and maybe close enough to look at.
I think Pooh Bear Williams, though, would really help himself immensely if he could just drop another 20 pounds.
Yep.
I mean, you know, I remember Charles Barkley coming out of Auburn, and he said, oh, I'm a great player already. I don't need to lose weight. Look what happened to Charles Barkley when he shed his weight and what type of player he became.
Bobby Bowden should give Pooh Bear Craig Ironhead Hayward's telephone number
That's
up
right.
in Atlanta, because with
Makes
the
a
Falcons
difference.
this year, he's on his way to 1,000 yards. Same kind of players. First down, and there is.
Let me change
Clarence
that.
Williams.
We're looking at it. 280 is really the real weight of this thing.
Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doc.
Hey, guys, talking about Pooh Bear Williams in a preseason press conference, a writer asked Bobby Bowden about his big fullback. Said, is it true you have a fullback that weighs 300 pounds? And Bowden equipped only before breakfast, after breakfast. Before breakfast, he's only 297.
First down, Florida State at 35 of Virginia. Again, they swing it out of the backfield. Preston now in the open field. They have to drag him down at the 15. Paul London saved a touchdown, a 20-yard play out of the backfield.
Another mental mistake by the Virginia defense. Preston just flared out of the backfield. No one goes with them. That is one of those things you have to account for the back. Look, they blitz. No one goes with the halfback. That's the A-back. That is one of the 5 legal receivers. When you blitz, you have to account for 5 legal receivers. Catch an easy one, and Danny Kanell is great at going to the guy that you don't cover.
From the 14, Kanell to Dunn. Dunn got around a man and got in the end zone.
Dunn.
Wow, he just ran by one defender and goes 14 yards for the score.
Done it.
Yep.
When that man catches the ball in space, he is so hard to contain. Caught it, made one guy miss, walked into the end zone. Your turn, Mike.
He'll be out there in a minute. Scott Bentley first for the point after for Florida State. Kanell's hold is down, and 14-7, and just that quickly. Florida State and Warrick Dunn make it 14-7.
And this is the changeup in this play right now. Both Preston and Dunn are in the game. Dunn is lined up at fullback. That is something that Florida State did not show, and that's what confused the Virginia defense a bit. When you have a shotgun, you got a lot of weapons, you just use them. Warrick Dunn lined up a different spot. They got him the ball, they scored.
Warrick Dunn's 3rd touchdown catch of the year. ESPN's your home for college football with another full day of action coming up on Saturday. We'll start things off with game day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, followed by the sack master of the Big Ten and his Fighting Illini of Illinois, Simeon Rice, against the Hawkeyes of Iowa, plus our scoreboards throughout the day. Then at 7:30 Eastern, CFA Primetime features Texas Tech trying to stop Texas quarterback James Brown and company. It's all coming up Saturday right here on ESPN. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Jerry Punch from Scott Stadium in Charlotte, where Warrick Dunn has just taken it 14 yards to cap a 94-yard drive. And remember, Colsey's interception at the 6 is what started this one. So if you consider Tiki Barber's fumble, both turnovers have turned into touchdowns.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. But they still had to go 94 yards this time, a little bit different. But they had a couple of big plays. Remember, Barber got beat on that hitch and go type thing when Kanell faked it and threw the ball long to Cooper. They are really throwing the ball around and using all their weapons.
Allen camps under this one at the 9. Pete Allen got a seam. Stiff arm didn't work. Bumped out of bounds by Dexter Jackson. But George Welsh did say you can't let these guys get a short field on you. We have to make them go 70, 80, 90 yards.
Yeah.
The only problem is it still only took them 2 minutes.
That's right. A short field for these guys is 90 yards sometimes.
A short field for these guys would be a CFL field,
That's
I think.
right.
So now Virginia takes over with 1:07 remaining first quarter. Here's a draw. Brooks, Kevin Brooks. And he's a good one. He was really the featured back last year for Virginia, not Tiki Barber. So they can go to him and spell Tiki Barber, and he gets a nice gain on that one.
Not only was he the featured back, he was their leading rusher last year, ran for 740 yards, and he's a senior. He's not going to be at all intimidated in this football. need to rest their players. That is one of the keys to this football game. And Tom O'Brien will rest his offensive linemen throughout the game, especially early. He's got some subs in already.
2nd and 5. Groh rolls off play action. Wide open is Medley, the fullback. And Medley all the way to the 42-yard line. 21 yards on that one.
This football team lost that fullback Charles Way from a year ago, but Medley has come in and he has shown with his blocking early in this game and now with a bootleg and sliding that fullback out in the flat that is how you can drive a defense nuts. Getting those guys out to the corners and making that defense cover the short flats. And if they're going to play a lot of zone, what Florida State likes to do in midfield, you can take advantage of that. Here they come where they like to blitz though.
And here it comes, and Groh rifles it. Incomplete right in the 8 on Derek Bird's jersey, and he forgot to take the football along.
Derek Bird was a high school quarterback who asked to move to wide receiver. I think he has tremendous potential. He was wide open, and Groh put it right there, and he just coughed it up. Tom O'Brien's doing a nice job of keeping this Florida State defense off balance, though.
Virginia in the ball game in the first quarter, turned it over twice. And Florida State turned both into points. A fumble by Tiki Barber, the interception by Groh. And a penalty on Florida State.
And a big
walk
one.
off of 15, roughing the
yards.
passer. So first down at the 28-yard line.
I got to stop watching the ball. I didn't see that. I was watching that pass that time.
From the 28 for the Seminoles. The give, Brooks. And Brooks powers his way close to the 20 before Sean Hamlet can make the stop to end the first quarter. Well, it's been a good one through 15 minutes. The number 2 team in the country is leading, but by only a touchdown, and Virginia on the march. Virginia with a 2nd down and 3. Groh off play action. Incomplete intended for his big tight end, Bobby Neely, who they really looked to early in the season. Had a huge game against Michigan and was injured in that one, and they have missed him.
Yeah, they really do. He's the guy that can get vertical at the tight end position. Man-on-man coverage this time into the secondary. Capers does a good job of cutting him off downfield, and you saw Neely. He knew he got hit, and the ball was in the air, and he wanted the call.
Now it's a 3rd down and 3. Just inside the Florida State 21. Florida State thinking about a blitz.
They'll do more than thinking about it. They're coming.
Groh's taking his time, gives it off to Brooks, straight up the middle. He's got a first down at the 15. Sam Cohart made the tackle, but Kevin Brooks, the senior, picks up the first down.
Nice patience that time by Mike Groh, giving his offensive lineman time to see what was happening and going to an inside trap play. I don't know if he had that play on or he audibled, but it is an effective play against a blitz. Everyone's coming hard at you. You just trap inside, you might be able to pop it. And as you look at the rushing yards, remember a big play there was on that option play to Barber.
64 yards on a touchdown, but they'll take that rushing total for the night, and they'll take the first down at the 15 of Florida State. Bootleg. Groh has to rifle it to Medley, and the fullback trying to bull his way toward the goal line. He's close, down to the 3. First and goal.
So effective slipping that fullback out into the flat against teams. Not a lot of teams use their fullback a lot, but off of the play action, this is a bootleg to the outside. If your quarterback can get that ball to them to the outside, you're going to force the safety. This time it's Hammond to come up and have to make the hit.
And Virginia will go with a 2 fullback type set. Medley behind Kirby. An extra lineman, an extra tight end. First and goal. Medley down to about the 1.5.
Don't expect much passing from that formation. They had Trevor Britton, number 63, as your flanker back, and now the substitution pattern is going to change for Virginia. They're going to bring in a wide receiver and give them a little bit more versatility. Tiki Barber is also in the game as they take Britton out.
2nd and goal.
2nd and goal is the passing down and goal line offense.
Jermaine Crowell is on a slot to the right side. Groh Barber, touchdown. Great call. Tiki Barber took a rifle shot, low throw from Groh for the score.
If you talk to defensive players, they tell you that this tight formation down at the goal line is the toughest formation to stop on the play-action passes. Not a lot of teams use it in the right situation. Second down is the time you use it because everyone's still thinking run, and you have to sell out for the run.
Rafael Garcia's extra point is good. With 13:26 to go in the half from Charlottesville. You could call him Tiki Torch.
And he was tight yesterday, and all of his assistant coaches knew it. He just said, leave him alone. That's what you do the day before a game.
Garcia's kick just caught the corner out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. And so Florida State will get it to 35 if they so choose. Tie game with 13:26.
I think if I was George Welch, though, you look up at the stands and you're a Virginia fan right now, you're thinking 14-14. I feel good about this. We're playing even with Florida State. If I was George Welch, I'd be a bit nervous about this because I don't think you can win a shootout with Florida State. You might have to, but the way they score, I think it's going to be tough to match them all game. They need to stop those mental errors on defense and try to make Florida State beat them with sound drives in this football game.
Or again on one of those paces where it's a 56-point game.
Right.
If you look at the scoreboard, and you and I talked about this before the game. You know, at some point you got to slow them down to 36 or something like that to have a chance to win. Danny Kanell's hit his last 4 passes. And now 5 as Preston takes the swing out of the backfield and dances his way through some people. Out to the 42. London made the stop. Rock Preston with a big smile and a good gain on the play.
This shotgun offense, it's not really a 2-minute offense, but they definitely have picked up the pace from when we saw it when Charlie Ward was here a couple years ago. It's not that slow. Danny Kanell is ready to attack any time, but he'll look over the defense, get the play, and see what's available. Then he lifts his foot, gets the ball.
Second and a long 2 goes to the same play to Preston. And stopped short of the first down this time. Williams out there with Poindexter. Poindexter's the kind of guy, Gary, that gives Virginia maybe a dimension that some other defenses haven't had against Florida State.
Well, exactly. He's 6'1", 202 pounds, has played both linebacker and defensive back, and that is the big change up in this football game. They're using 4- and 3-man line with Poindexter trying to match up with the backs.
Third down, a yard. High throw. Riley doesn't handle it. Knocked out of his hands by Joe Williams. Riley had it in his hands, but Joe Williams, the sophomore out of Chesapeake, popped him in the back, and it came out.
It appears that Florida State is going to punt this ball. I'm a little surprised. They hit you something you're giving them right here. Florida State, the ball was very catchable that time. Riley coughs it up. But those are the type of plays that you have to make as a defense. Come up and let that receiver know whether you catch it or not, you're going to get rocked.
Third 3 and out. List set to punt. Pooh Bear Williams is the up man. They are going to punt it, though, and it's blocked. And a chance here as Owen takes it down to the 20. And it was James Ferrier who blocked the kick.
James Ferrier, the junior linebacker, is the guy who blocked it. You're exactly right. And Brian Owen, number 29, is the guy who scoops it up, has the presence that he knows he can pick it up. Ferrier comes right up the gut, number 42, and actually gets blocked by Pooh Bear on the play and still makes the attacking kick. And I'm not so sure that the direction of the kicker and the blocker knew what was going on. That ball, I thought, should have been kicked an angle to the left side. That ball gets blocked, and Owen changes the field.
Play action for Groh. Steps up and fires incomplete. It was intended for his tight end, Derry, who got tangled up with one of the Florida State linebackers, and that's why the Boo Birds are out. Ferrier around the defensive huddle. Just came up with the block kick.
Rick Lance is the defensive coordinator. He's seen a lot of this Florida State team when he was at Louisville and Miami. He knows Howard Snellenberger, coach on that staff. He knows how this attacking defense it has to be played against that shotgun.
Draw play to Tiki Barber. Not too much. Wadsworth got him low. Let's check in with Jerry.
Guys, the Florida State defensive coaches are very concerned about the inability to get any pressure on Mike Groh as far as a pass rush. They're concerned that Groh is actually rolling the pocket to the field. They're putting the formation into the boundary and then rolling the pocket to the wide side of the field. Watch for some outside pressure from Florida State safeties coming up to try to get a little bit of pressure on Mike Groh.
Mickey Andrews looks on. 3rd down 7, Virginia. Tie game, 11:25 to go in the half. Here comes the blitz. Groh steps up, waits, goes short, incomplete to Crowell. He couldn't handle it. Coverage by Samari Roll out there. And now it's going to bring on the field goal unit. And they've got a kicker that's got a serious leg, Rafael Garcia.
Garcia had a kick against Texas that he thought won the game, and it ended up it didn't come through.
He hit a 56-yarder to tie a school record. There you see his long of the year, 56 and 14 of 20 overall. They're going to only ask him for about a 36-yarder here. Tim Sherman, the backup quarterback to hold.
Who is a quarterback.
That's right. Garcia for the lead. Right down University Avenue. 11:16 to go in the half, and oh, look what we got. Virginia leading second-ranked Florida State.
Absolutely, Virginia would love to get this game into the 4th quarter. They have more experience on this football team with tight football games than Florida State does. They've had 2 tight ones, as we talked about already. Mike Groh says, get into the 4th quarter, I'll win it for you.
Garcia, who just gave them the lead, got it teed up. Kicks away. Brock Preston runs up on a high kick at the 14. And Preston out across the 30 to the 32. And Florida State will work there offensively with 11 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the half.
Interesting talking to Mark Richt, the offensive coordinator for Florida State. He said, you know, we've been trying to run it at a fast pace. A couple things have been slowing us down this year. One has been the officials. Yeah. They've not been able to stay up with us. And the other, a couple teams lately have been having some strange injuries to slow us down. So we should keep a lookout for that. It hasn't happened so far.
At the 33. Warrick Dunn flanks Kanell in the spread, and a direct snap to Dunn. And Warrick's going to get dropped by Poindexter again. He is the shadow tonight.
3-4. You remember the old spy they used to have for Charlie Ward in the shotgun? Now the spy goes to Dunn. Number 3 is the linebacker. He's lined up to the outside of the formation. Out here, you just can't quite see him, but his eyes are on Dunn. It's a direct snap. They bounce it outside. Poindexter, number 3, comes in and trips him, and that's why he's in the football game.
Dropped him for a 2-yard loss. Second down, a dozen for Kanell. Fires deep middle, wide open, and all the way down to the 35 is E.G. Green. That's his first catch of the night. And he comes in with a bad hamstring. It didn't look too bad there 34 yards later.
Warrick Dunn is pointing to himself because this time he thought it was a run. I'm in, I'm out. Oh my, where is number 19? He turns one way. Beautiful throw and beautiful route by number 19, E.G. Green, and now he's quickly in the shotgun.
Down to the 35, they move it. Play action. Kanell with plenty of time. Goes long again. Broken up near the goal line by Percy Ellsworth, who got his left hand in there, or it would have been a touchdown.
Boy, they strain you all game. Cooper that time, number 1. The ball's going down the middle of the field. You got to make a play or we're going to keep throwing the ball. And Barber is down this time. He was the guy who had coverage, but it was the free safety, Percy Ellsworth, that comes over and saves the touchdown. And Barber's the guy who takes his helmet off that time.
Ronde either got it from Paul London, his own man, or from Cooper, and they clanged heads down there. And if you're going, boy, he looks a lot like Tiki Barber. Well, they're twin brothers. Tiki just a little bit bigger. Ronde says, I'm all right. Meanwhile, back at the line of scrimmage, it's second down and 10. There's Tiki. The brothers Barber. And both have been part of big plays tonight. Ronde's broken up a couple of long passes. Tiki has 2 touchdowns. Second and 10, Florida State, and they are a big play team, halfway to their per-game average. They've already got 4 plays of 20-plus yards tonight. Kanell going for another big one to Cooper. Overshot it. And it's Ellsworth back there covering again, helping out Joe Williams.
Seems like the Virginia defense is finally settling into the game plan. And we talked to Rick Lance about what the defense had to do. And he said, Gary, it's really simple. Just play the defense I call. Don't try to help someone else. If you've got the hook, cover the hook. If you've got deep middle, cover deep middle. If you go try to help somebody else, they're going to throw it in your zone.
3rd and 10. Kanell, too much time to throw. Right down the middle he goes, back to E.G. Green, and Green's got a first down inside the 12-yard line.
Well, Danny Kanell is really accurate with that football, and he's running up. Big play happens, and he's getting that team up there. You don't even have time to catch your breath. Catches a low snap this time, couple steps back, gets on his feet, well balanced, and he's so accurate. A lot of people ask me, what's the key to being a great quarterback? I say everybody. There are a lot of tough guys, a lot of smart guys, but you better be accurate with the football, and that's what Danny Kanell is.
That's Joe Montana there, huh?
Yep.
From the 12. First down. Wants to throw a screen. Dunn with the catch and the blockers in front. And then he puts his head down and powers his way inside the 5. Dunn with a touchdown tonight. Tyre, he's running behind some big fellas up there. Lewis Tyre and Clay Shiver. They've been playing together a long time on that front wall at center and at left guard. Kanell has a look at 2nd down and 3. They can get a first down inside the 2-yard line. Fake the draw and come up throwing, and it's intercepted. Ellsworth with a diving grab. How about his defensive series?
Ellsworth had the tip on the one to Cooper, and now he has E.G. Green. It's a little bit of a bootleg, and Ellsworth just lays out on this one, gets it, and that is a huge play. E.G. Green came inside and tried to move back outside. Kanell thought he was open, but he was being pressured in his face just a bit. When he let it go, Ellsworth ate it up. Wow, that's a big-time play right there.
The secondary of Virginia so opportunistic. 26 straight games with at least 1 interception, and for Ellsworth, his 5th of the year. Tiki Barber got tagged at the line of scrimmage, maybe eked a yard out of that. And Danny Kanell, who doesn't throw many interceptions, that's only his 7th of the year.
2nd and 9.
And he's saying, hey, my fault, guys. Pointing at himself, don't worry about it, to his offensive lineman. Really taking the leadership role, even in a bad time like that. He's saying, hey, what's the big deal?
I think it all stems back to that Florida game a year ago when, you know, you're behind and he just said, I just wanted to get us close, and all of a sudden he proved himself and they tie a game and you're the leader after that.
Mike Groh, will he throw from his own end zone here? Bootleg off play action and fires it complete. Out across the 15 and a first down to Derek Bird.
Top team, you cannot be conservative with the football. Tom O'Brien comes out again, bringing Groh out of the pocket so he doesn't get the sack. He's very easy throw to the outside, throws well, and he puts it to the outside in front of James Colsey to get the big completion and get you out of your own shadow of your end zone.
A first down at the 15-yard line. Draw play to Barber. Tiki gets about 6 before they can track him down. Capers and Wadsworth combine on the stop.
Question marks about this Florida State defense, but they've been without a lot of starters all year. The 2 key guys, though, have been Darrell Bush and Todd Riebel. They're 2 great outside linebackers. They are back, but you could see the difference when they didn't have them and when they got them. Tonight, though, they're already ahead of that 84-yard pace, and they're playing, by the way.
Tiki Barber's ahead of that by himself. Groh got hit as he threw. I mean, he got whacked.
Oh, God.
He's still down.
I think it was Darrell Bush that time was the guy that put the big hit on him, but it was also Renard Wilson, their sack leader, on the outside. But boy, Darrell Bush just comes from the inside. He reads the bootleg this time, hits it from behind. Wilson's in front of him. Bush comes, gets a little bit of a sandwich, and those are the kind sometimes you can pop that left shoulder when you get driven into the ground.
Head for the mountains of Bush.
Oof.
Wow, that was a hit. 3rd down, 4. Virginia leads, if you're just joining us, with just under 8 minutes to go in the half. And now it's Groh from the shotgun. Here comes the blitz from the Seminoles. It's picked up well, and he's going deep for Bird. Had his hands on it, couldn't hold it. Had a step on Samari Roll back there, but it's incomplete.
It was good coverage by Roll, though, and a deep ball, that's about all you're going to get. The ball was put in a perfect spot. Groh threw it to the outside of the field. You got about a 4-yard box out there, and that ball was put to the outside, and it was a tough catch, and really one that everybody about did their job. If you catch it, it's a great play. If you don't, you punt the ball.
And Will Bryce will punt.
I would not call that a drop ball. That's
Nope.
one of those plays, if you make it, you're happy.
D. Feaster is dangerous. High snap. Got the kick away.
That's the second one he's made a high catch like that.
And he got a great kick, great hang time, and nice coverage. So Florida State will have it offensively with 7 minutes and 43 seconds remaining. First half from Scott Stadium, and the Wahoos are out tonight. Virginia leads by 3. Danny Kanell and the Florida State offense set to work from the 38, and at some point in this drive we're going to set up what Danny Kanell goes through, I guess mechanics-wise, Gary, between plays, right?
He has a checklist that he has to go through from the end of one play to the beginning of the next play, and it's really interesting what goes through and what he has to be ready to do.
He'll come up under center here on first down. Flares it out to Rock Preston. Juggles and makes the catch, and Preston's going to get a first down. 48-yard line. Ellsworth and Ferrier knock him out.
Nice backup.
Here's what Danny Kanell's thinking.
As soon as that play ends, I'm making the call to the field, you know, yelling the formation out to everybody so they know where to go. And as soon as I do that, I'll look over the sideline to Coach Jeff Bowden, he's on the headphones with Coach Richt, who's up in the box, and he gets the play from Coach Richt and then signals it into me, and then I'll signal it to all the receivers and yell out the protection to the offensive linemen and signal the routes to the receivers and the running backs. And then once we get that, everybody gets set, and then I'll look over the defense, call out what they're in so the offensive line can set up their blocking scheme, and then I'll go ahead and give a heel kick, and that means that Clay can snap the ball whenever he's ready. And then from then on there, I just go through my progressions and make sure, you know, see if they're blitzing or not, check out the safeties, and just go through my progressions and go ahead and throw the ball.
You saw the heel kick already. There it is for the second time, and they'll keep it on the ground. Pooh Williams down to the 42-yard line, where it'll bring up third down and almost 4. James Ferrier made the tackle.
And you know what's really interesting to point out right there is there are things that he didn't even say there that he has to do. He has to obviously go through what the down and distance is, and then through his mind checklist he has to say, is this a blitzing down, who's hot, where am I on the field? And it took him 2 plays to talk his way through it. He has to do it in less than 1 play.
That's right. We would have had to throw a flag for delay of game on that one. Third down at 3 for the pre-med major, Danny Kanell and the Florida State offense. Wide open again is Green. And Green's been a big part of the Florida State offense here in the second quarter. He's got it down to the 25 and a 17-yard pickup.
Well, there is no quit in this offense. You just got to, you know, they're coming at you, and they catch the ball, and all of a sudden they're lined up in front of you again. You have to, on defense, to just be patient with your defense and know that they're coming again, line up and rush.
And they're rolling away and want to throw back the other way. And incomplete. Nice job of staying home by Joe Williams over there with Philip Riley, the intended receiver.
And that's the point, and that's exactly what Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator, said. Guys, play the defense. I don't care if the quarterback runs all the way to the bench. If you've got the outside third, stay in the outside third. And Joe Williams this time did stay in his position. Danny Kanell tried to steal one there. There's a man right on there. He had to throw the ball high on purpose.
It's second down and 10. Florida State at the Virginia 25. Kanell down the middle. Boy, nice coverage, but still got it to Damian Harrell. And Ferrier made the hit.
I think the key so far in this football game, something we talked about, is they have not been able to get pressure on Danny Kanell. That jersey, they don't even have to wash it so far in this football game. Throws the ball, that's like throwing 7-on-7. The offensive linemen aren't even on the field. He has not been touched, not a speck of dirt.
Another third down. This time they will keep it on the ground, and it's going to be short. Dunn is about a yard shy of the first down marker.
Well, I was surprised that Florida State did not go for the first down last time at midfield. This time I'd be surprised if they kick a field goal.
Toss to Dunn. He wants to throw an option back to Kanell, and he's in trouble. And now he's going to go down. That was an option pass all the way.
I'll tell you, play the defense called. And what happened here is the two corners, the guys playing the wide guys, played the defense. Number 33, Jamie Sharper, covered his man. There you see it. Ellsworth stayed with his man. Everybody downfield was covered, and nobody to throw the ball to.
And Dunn had two receivers, one being Kanell. E.G. Green was downfield.
That's exactly. You know, they tried to steal quick points. I just think running the ball inside gets you a first down there. Two times they tried to trick on short yardage plays.
Instead, it's a first down for Virginia, and it's Tiki Barber for a quick 9. He's over 100 in the first half. Down nearing the 5-minute mark. And Tiki Barber, one of only 2 backs to go over 100 yards against Florida State last year in the '94 season, has done so already again tonight, and we are only in the half. 103 on 11 pops for Tiki Barber.
Really like the game being called by Tom O'Brien in this football game so far. They are not going away with a running game. They've been having success with the pass game, but they're going to keep setting it up by running that ball inside so they can keep the play action pass throughout the whole game. The reason they like the play action pass, especially against this team, it gives them better blocking angles with their tight end and their backs. They feel that their offensive linemen have a better chance of blocking against protection.
Tom O'Brien with George Welch right next to him. Somebody said to him this year, how come you got the new headset with headsets on both ears? Is that so you can hear everybody upstairs better? He said, no, I don't have to listen to George next to me. Second down and inches. Boy, I don't know if they got the inches. Medley went straight ahead. Maybe his forward progress got it for him, but I don't know.
I think he got it. But it's in Virginia. You're the underdog, and you lead forward. I think you get the first down in this one.
Yep, they did. George Welch, who has been fined this year for his talk about some of the officiating in the loss to North Carolina.
And if I'd have been the coach, I'd have been fined again after the Texas game when they kicked a field goal and had a play that was called no good when it was clearly good.
And a touchdown taken away and a field goal that probably should have been good. And Florida State finally gets pressure on Groh. First sack of the night. It's Orpheus Roy who comes whipping around from the corner. The senior from Miami has the first sack of the night.
And that's the first time they've not been able to get the corner, getting around the outside end with the bootleg play. Roy stayed with his keys, saw the quarterback after the fake, and talk about whipping him around. He whipped Groh around. He's the guy that can really play at the next level for this football team, Roy.
Well, he's filling the spot from a guy that was a #1 draft choice of the Vikings, Derek Alexander, or trying to. Loss on the play. It's second down and 17. Groh goes short over the middle to his tight end, and Neely got it back to about the 28-yard line. Coming up, ESPN, 1:30 Eastern, USA Basketball from Storrs, Connecticut. It's the U.S. Women's National Team featuring Therese Edwards and Cheryl Swoops along with Rebecca Lobo. That's right, she's taking on her old team, the freshly crowned national champion Lady Huskies of UConn. Check it out Sunday on ESPN. A third down upcoming and about a dozen to go. Virginia's going to have to earn this one. 2 out of 5 on the night on their third down conversions. Groh, play action, deep streak for Pete Allen. He made the catch, and he's going to go. 72 yards. Threw a rocket, and Allen made a nice adjustment on it for the catch, and then the two defenders collided, and that was it.
Florida State is really gambling in this football game. A minute ago, 4th and inches, they tried a halfback pass. This situation, it was 3rd and 14, and they brought an all-out blitz and what man-to-man coverage to the outside. Anything can happen when you do that.
Garcia's point after is good, and Virginia leads by 10. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in the half.
Pete Allen does a nice job against roll here. Watch how he uses his back and slows down. He's not open by a lot. Pass is going to be, he comes back inside, gets in front of his defender. Now watch how he slows down, bumps, and then goes to the outside and makes that catch. One guy trips over another, but I don't know if they would catch Allen on that play anyway, and all of a sudden the scoreboard changes again.
Longest reception of the year for Demetrius Pete Allen, 72 yards from Mike Groh.
Well, the ball was put in a spot, but I think the nice job that time was by the receiver. He slowed down and made that look like a perfect throw. Groh was going to tell Allen, nice job. You made me look good on that one.
And it was a Florida State-like drive, 80 yards in just 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
But remember, that was from a 3rd and 14, an all-out blitz. I think Virginia would have been happy to actually throw that ball away and just punt the ball in that situation. Florida State tries to make something happen, Mickey Andrews, and they get burned again. And, you know, you start spotting people a little bit too much, and you keep making mistakes. And for Florida State, they might, I don't know if they can get out of range, but it's possible, I guess.
Sometimes you can wait too long to make your move. Florida State, plenty of time left to move, though. 3:05 left in the half. Garcia set to kick. Oh, he got all of this one. Adrenaline is flowing. Feaster's got to take a knee, and it'll be Florida State at the 20-yard line, and we've got a chance to check in with Chris Fowler. Chris?
All right, Brad, we know you're going to stick around for the second half, but hang with us at halftime as well. Our blitz package, as the blitzers look toward Saturday's games, will attempt to apply some science to the issue of who's #1 among the Fab Four, and I'll show you the wild and wacky with our hidden video. Lee Corso and Craig James will join me at halftime coming up shortly. Brad?
Coming up in about 3 minutes, 5 seconds. Thanks, Chris. It's 24-14. Florida State came in, as all of you know, #2 in the country, having been idle last weekend and having been hurdled by Nebraska, which has taken the top spot. And now, Florida State down by 10. When's the last time you heard that? Dunn. And Warrick Dunn scrambles his way into the secondary. He picked up about 12 before Ferrier can track him down.
Wow, a lot of people wonder, you know, is he a tailback type guy? I don't think he could play tailback a whole football game at the next level. But I'll tell you, when he gets the ball deep, he can play tailback in this league.
He's got 20 yards on the night, 12 on that one. 1st and 10, Florida State. Kanell rolls, throws on the runs, got his man open. It's Green again. And Green out to the 48-yard line with yet another catch and another pickup of 17. Kanell hustles the troops up. Bobby Bowden said coming into this one, we haven't been tested yet this year, and as only Bobby could say, tonight we're fixing to get tested. I'd say they are getting tested with 2:44 left in the half. 1st down at the 49. Kanell out to Dunn in the flat. Dunn puts a move on and gets what he can down the sideline, and wisely takes it after 13 more out of bounds. Florida State #2 in the country. Nebraska now on top with Iowa State next up for them. Following this one, Florida State a week from Saturday at North Carolina. Florida, Northern Illinois, Ohio State at Minnesota, Tennessee, and Southern Miss get together. There's your top 5 teams. Again, Kanell throws on the run and threw too high for Cooper. It'll be 2nd down at 10. That'll stop the clock. 2:26 left in the 1st half.
Well, Virginia right now, obviously, you know, with Florida State doing maybe, I think personally, a little bit too much gambling in this football game. I don't understand why they have to try some of the things they're trying in this game. They are clearly able to move the ball with just their regular plays. I don't see why they have to try these halfback passes and bootlegs on the 2-yard line. They've kept Virginia in the game so far.
Kanell, plenty of time. Hit as he threw, though. And it was Dwayne Ashman.
Well, I'll tell you, Ashman didn't knock him down, but at least he got in his face. And that is a key so far. The one time earlier in the game, Harris got in his face, and he threw an interception. This time, Ashman, number 94, comes around the end. He's got Hernandez, number 77, pushing him, but he pushed him right into the throwing lane. And I don't know, you get right in his face, and that's what you make him do. When you want a quarterback that you can't get to, you got to get in the passing lanes.
3rd down and 10. Kanell deep middle. He's got Green again. Green on the cross and into the end zone. Touchdown. 38 yards, and nobody touched him.
Well, that's the 3rd touchdown in this game that people have trotted into the end zone. That's when you're really throwing the foot. And that's what I mean. That is just bread and butter pass play right there. They don't have to do anything fancy. Crossing route over the middle of the field, just throw it in the hole. When you've got an accurate quarterback, you don't have to get fancy. You've got great talent. Let's use plays 1 through 5. We don't need play 35.
Green questionable until about 10 minutes before game time, and I think he's answered all the questions with his performance here in the second quarter. The touchdown and extra point has cut it down to Virginia 24, Florida State 21. 3-point Virginia lead with 2:13 left in the half. Hey, coming up Saturday, ESPN2 has its share of college football. Starting things off at noon, Baylor looks to tackle Miami in the Orange Bowl. And then at 7, 4th-ranked Ohio State goes into Minnesota against Jim Wacker's Golden Gophers. And don't forget all the scores, highlights, and post-game sound on Sports Night. That's this weekend on the Deuce. Well, here on the mothership, we couldn't have more fun, I don't think, in a half. It's 24-21 with 2:13 left first half. I
can feel all those people in Ohio, though, rooting for Virginia right now.
That's right.
Danny Kanell, I'm just really amazed at how accurate he is with the football. Those are not all just dumps he's throwing in this game. He's been patient when he's had to. He's thrown the ball over the middle, and he's thrown the ball deep. He's made one mistake on the bootleg. He actually threw that ball pretty accurately. Ellsworth just made a great play on it.
We should also mention that he has also broken Charlie Ward's single-season school record for touchdown passes.
And I think they have a couple games left, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And also, he has the right arm. Another record drops. Bentley. Demetrius Allen, who scored the last time he touched it. Whoa! What a hit at the 25 that was. That stopped your forward progress, Pete. Just over 2 minutes left in the half.
I look for Virginia maybe to come back to that option play that they ran early in this football game. They've showed it one time. They've had great success with it. Maybe now they've shown the passing game. They've shown the deep pass. Will they come back now and give them something that they were successful earlier? I'm sure they haven't forgot about it.
Well, they ran the option twice. One of them taken 64 yards for a touchdown by Tiki Barber. Brooks right now, though, is the tailback. And right now, Groh is trying to get his tight end, Neely, lined up in the right spot. And with it comes a penalty.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. First down.
Might have even been Chris Harrison, the right tackle, who came out of his stance a little bit with all that talking going on. Quarterbacks tonight, both Unitas semifinalists for that prestigious award, and you can see why they're both in the running, huh?
Well, you know, 319 yards in the first half of a football game, and you're losing.
And Mike Groh with 2 touchdown tosses tonight. That's the first penalty against Virginia this evening. Brooks tripped up as he was just getting on takeoff, and Wilson again, number 55, the defensive end.
And I think that's the thing that Mike Groh has to realize in this game. He can't get caught up in trying to match the stats for Danny Kanell. It's a different offense. He's doing the job of the offense that he has to do. He has to get him in the right play. He has to be accurate with the ball, and he can't make a lot of mistakes.
Timeout with 1 minute and 56 seconds remaining in the half. Virginia continuing to lead by a field goal. Danny Kanell all by himself now in the career touchdown passing mark, having passed Gary Huff moments ago with his last scoring toss to E.G. Green.
That makes it efficient when you put that arrow next to it.
That's right.
There. That's what really that does.
When you get a yellow ESPN arrow, you know you've done something big. Yep.
Not if we say it. You got to have the arrow.
Exactly. Second down and 13, Virginia with the lead, and just under 2 minutes to go in the half. Little counter to Brooks, trying to break a tackle but can't. Nice hit by Darrell Bush, the inside linebacker.
Florida State's going to eat another timeout here, and they want the ball back. And you know, you say, how much time do you have to give them the ball back to be safe? You know, like 12 seconds. Yeah, you're still worried.
That is a little bit of a concern. Don't forget, you can get all your scores at 10, 30, and 50 past each and every hour, each and every day, 24 hours a day on ESPN. And our score is 24-21. Virginia trying to pull a shocker on their home turf with 1:48 left in the second quarter. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doc?
Yeah, it was a great football game in the first half for Virginia. Up 3 points or And the guy I'm standing with is a guy that's not even playing now. He's their leading receiver, Patrick Jefferson. Patrick, you didn't get to play against Michigan, and now you missed the Florida State game. Two tough ones for a fifth-year senior.
I mean, yeah, those are the games you want to play in. You know, looking at our schedule at the beginning of the year, I knew these would be key games for us, and you know, sometimes that's the way things work out. You know, I'd love to be out there, but I think we're doing a great job without me. I mean, everything on offense is going well. We've turned it over twice, and still we're on top, so I can't ask for much more than that.
What is the key right now to the success as you watch your offense work?
I think we're able to run the ball on them, which makes them respect that. And you know, we've hit a big pass play on them. I think we're just keeping it balanced and taking what they give us, and not trying to do too much.
Tom O'Brien said if we can just keep it close to the fourth quarter, we've got a shot. This is about did the players expect this, or is this somewhat of a surprise?
I think the players, you know, expected it to be a tight game. I think they knew that we could play with them, and like you said, if we keep it close, then things like the crowd and emotion take over, and you know, anything can happen. So I hope we just, you know, are able to keep them within range and maybe stay on top the whole game.
Thanks, Patrick.
Going to go to Tiki Barber on 3rd and 12, and Barber breaks out on a screen pass down the sideline and out of bounds. Got what he could, got to the 37, and then got out of bounds. And Jeffers knows that maybe Mike Groh, his best buddy and roommate, would have gone to him had he been on the field. Instead, Tiki Barber turns on the Jets again, Garrett.
Tiki Barber, number 21, and really what jumps out on this play is Tiki Barber when he turns a corner. Watch him run away from Samari Roll, number 2 this time. Boom, Roll, get it going. Uh-oh, you ain't going to catch him. And now those 2 timeouts that Florida State used have now turned around and started helping Virginia in this game. I mean, it's really interesting how things turn so quickly in a game. A little play on the screen, and all of a sudden the field is turned upside down.
Upside down to the Florida State 37-yard line, and then whistles end this one with 1:31 remaining. Mickey Andrews is not a happy defensive coordinator right now for Florida State. Not happy at all.
Now, I would say that's in the not happy category right there.
Coming up, halftime in about 91 seconds. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Craig James with a preview of Penn State and Northwestern. Big one coming up in the Big Ten this weekend. Hidden video, amazing plays from last weekend you didn't see. And, of course, the Blitzers will be along with the halftime blitz. Chris and the guys in 1:31.
I love that blitz. That
he's really good.
He really is.
Yep, he's sharp, too. He's sharp. He dresses a lot like you. Scott Stadium. No crown on this field. You can tell that from the camera, can't you? This baby's as flat as a pancake. New prescription turf in here is the ACC. We tried to put together the number of southern schools, both ACC and SEC, that even have turf anymore. So many have gone back to grass fields. And it has been a fast track tonight. The rain has not come. We had a beautiful day today, even though there was a chance of showers. 68 degrees southwest winds at kickoff, and the rain has stayed away so far.
Mickey Andrews, Brad, is looking at this replay, is the guy who signaled the timeout on the play before. He's going to come from the bottom of your screen right here. Timeout, timeout, check him out. The defensive line coach is also doing it. Usually when that happens, you have too many men on the field or not enough men on the field. In this situation, it's not a wasted timeout because you're not going to get the ball back anyway with 1:37 to go.
Unless you pick one off.
That's right.
First and 10, Groh in trouble. Flushed by Wilson and throws out of bounds as the pressure's been coming from Raynard Wilson, the junior out of Lake City, Florida, much of the night.
And Raynard Wilson did a nice job that time, coming in with his left shoulder and dipping inside the block and getting inside his block to get into Groh. You watch him coming off the corner. He's going to dip with that left shoulder, runs right through the block from Kirby that time and gets right into the face. And Groh did really the way you got to do it in this situation. Get rid of the ball and line up again in 2nd and 10.
Sack is the last thing you want to give up on this spot on the field.
Got it.
2nd down and 10. Barber, a little quick opening draw, got it near the 30. Bush and Wadsworth combined on the stop.
This one surprises me a little bit here. They're going to take a timeout with 1:25 to go. You can see, and George, I guess he's got dinner date a little bit later on the thing going. He checks his clock.
30-yard line.
And they've used 2 timeouts. They only have 1 left.
They'd like to save that for their field goal if they run it down the middle and start to run out of time.
Let's look all the way. Mike Groh's going to check off. He's got man-to-man coverage in the bottom of the field.
Everybody up close. Here they come. Groh's going to try to go deep for Allen. And he almost made a juggling catch. Samari rolled. Number 2 on number 2 out there. That was the coverage.
Allen did a nice job again. Allen is not the fastest receiver that, goes about 4.4, 4.5 speed, but Groh puts the ball up, and when it's in the air, I like the offensive chances all the time in this situation. That ball could have got caught, and Roll is saying, this is no fun, Coach Andrews. Put me out on that island. It is lonely out there. This is a nationally televised game, and I'm going to limp a little bit back to the sideline here.
Rafael Garcia, who made his collegiate debut last year against Florida State, and hit a 40-yard field goal.
This must be a fake here. I'm going to be surprised.
48-yarder. He's got all kinds of leg, and he's going to put that baby right through there.
Whoa. You're going for it. That surprised me. Because you're going to give the ball to Florida State with plenty of time if you don't make that one.
They really have a lot of faith in this kid, though, with a 56-yarder to his credit, as you were talking about earlier, Gary, and they just said, let's go get 3 more, and they did.
There is not a breath of wind in the stadium right here, so they went with a good kicker, and this one's going to come right in your lap here because it just barely went across the crossbar, and it was right into the camera.
Almost got our camera. Good from 48 for the former high school exchange student from Barcelona, Spain, a soccer player in Barcelona, came over to Danville, Virginia, and was an exchange student there.
There's the camera.
There's the camera, and they just put that gaffer tape on there because they doinked that thing, I think, on the way through.
Still working. We're testing it right now.
Yep. Like E.T. down there. It's still moving. So 3 more for Virginia. 27. 21.
Well, the good news is you kicked the field goal. The bad news is you gave him a $1.14 to come back
work
on
with. That's
to
right.
work with.
And that might be too much for that guy. Average scoring drive, length of time used in a scoring drive coming into this game for Florida State was 1 minute and 49 seconds. So it doesn't take them long. That Virginia drive was 46 yards in 7 plays, and they used less than a minute to get the field goal. Now Garcia. Brock Preston under it at the 7-yard line. And the ball comes loose.
Well,
no signal yet at the 25.
The way Florida State's walking on the field, you would assume they have the ball.
Well, it took us till just there to get the official word, though.
Preston is the guy. Let's see how this ball pops loose or how he gets it back. Kind of a maze of guys, but he did end up with the ball right there. And I'm not sure who came up with it.
I think it was number 43 for Florida State, and that is not on our roster.
That's an unknown soldier right there.
Kanell comes up firing. Complete to Riley in front of Joe Williams. 62 seconds left in the half.
Kind of neat that you can just use your same offense here for the one you've been using all game.
That was incomplete. I beg your pardon. Florida State out of timeouts. And working from the 25-yard line. Go over the middle, and it's intercepted by Ferrier. And Virginia's got it back at the 30.
Virginia used a 3-man rush, dropped into the zones, used 5 linebackers. A defense very similar to the one that Penn State used against Miami in the bowl game. And there you see Ferrier move in front of Riley that time and make the pickoff, and all of a sudden got the ball back on the 30-yard line going the other way.
With 55 seconds still left for the Virginia offense. Groh, play action, steps up in the pocket and going long. And it's intercepted right back near the goal line by Byron Capers.
Put your helmets back on, offense. Get back out there. It's the first time Mike Groh has gotten greedy at all with the football game so far. That was a drop zone that in the coverage. You can see it. The receiver was bracketed. The ball is thrown, and a nice job by Capers to go up and catch it at the highest point.
It's like watching an air hockey game.
It really is, like tennis, isn't it? There was no way that the Florida State team had even the ability to take their helmet off that time.
Danny Kanell has been intercepted a couple of times tonight, but he's thrown 3 touchdown passes too. And he has over 300 yards offense throwing in the first half. There's his numbers. That's a half. Well, not quite a half. 49 seconds left.
Now I'm just going to shut up and watch this play here, because are they going to go shotgun from here now?
I don't know. They're at the 1-yard line. They are. You don't want to hold down here. Now they come up under center. And Danny takes it himself out to about the 5. Well, they're finally going to let everybody breathe and let this run down a little bit. Warrick Dunn out in the lineup right now. Preston's got his spot in the end zone. But Kanell, you're going to run things out.
Well, they finally got a couple hits on Kanell, and they may be calling a timeout here just so they can hit him one more time on a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, Ferrier got a shot on him there, then came up with a timeout signal.
I don't know why he just doesn't move back and take a knee. Those are unnecessary hits on your quarterback. Maybe he wants to get his jersey dirty.
17 seconds left, and here's Kanell on the last one.
Well, that's just a free pop. That's the closest they've got at him all along. And then Ferrier comes in late and gives him one helmet to the head. It really wasn't necessary, but when you can hit the quarterback, hit him.
A week from tonight, you can start your weekend early once again with a weekend kickoff show at 7:30. That'll get us going. And then from the Southwest Conference, Texas A&M and Rice will do battle. And Garrett, not a Heisman year right now for A&M's Leland McElroy, but he is still a tough cookie.
Well, they say he's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft, and he is healthy again, and Texas A&M will be healthy. And Fred, you know, I think Texas A&M may be one of those teams that suffered going for the national championship and losing a game early.
That's next Thursday night. Texas A&M at Rice. Kickoff at 8 following the weekend kickoff show. Join us down in Houston. Well, out at the 5-yard line with 11 seconds left. This has been a long 2 minutes with a lot going on here in the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. Bobby Dodd said, I'm going to tell him about that. I'm going to tell him about that. And he's got about 1 or 2 plays left here. Looks like it's going to be 1. As we have had a back-and-forth battle in the ACC here in Charlottesville through 2 quarters. Halftime from Scott Stadium. The Wahoos hooing it up. The Cavaliers lead the Seminoles 27-21. Craig and Lee and Chris were talking about maybe regardless of what happens in this second half, does Florida State drop in the polls? Well, we still got a lot of football left. And it's Demetrius Allen who has a long touchdown catch to his credit tonight to open things up, and he's going to be stopped short of the 20 in the kickoff return as we check in with Jerry Punch. Doc?
Guys, here in the Seminole locker room, head coach Bobby Bowden was very matter-of-fact at halftime. He said right here on this big box in the middle of the locker room, looked around and talked to his defense very emotionally. He said, look, we're playing an emotional football team. We're giving up more big plays than that we've ever done before. They're taking it to us. We're catching their blocks. We have to take it to them. We have to fight for the football back in the secondary. And offensively, we got all day to throw the football, but our receivers aren't working to get open. We have to work to get open, but we have to stop them defensively here early in the second half.
See how that defense does to start things off. Tiki Barber on a counter. And Barber got a couple outside before he's run out of bounds. Byron Capers, the cornerback, makes the play. Tiki Barber, a huge part of the Virginia offense in the first half. 111 yards on the ground, and there's the way it was charted for him, Garrett.
Yeah, and of course this one right here, the long one on the option play, is where he really, I think, showed Florida State that it was going to be a game, and that really said, hey, buckle up, guys. We're coming at you. We've got a lot of offense, too.
And he caught 3 passes for 45 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Here he comes again, straight up the middle, and Barber breaking tackles out to the 38-yard line. Wadsworth and Colsey finally bring him down, but he rumbles for 17 like a pinball.
Let's give credit to that offensive line this time. Lachlan and Slocum and those guys, they do a good job of getting in there, fitting on the linebackers. But this guy right here has made himself into a better football player. When we talked to Tom O'Brien, he said, he looked at last year, he said, I got to get bigger. He went on the weights, he gained 15 pounds, and he is really doing things now.
Groh pumps once and then was going to go to Barber as his safety valve, and he got deposited by Orpheus Roy. The other thing about Tiki Barber, in a game against Duke in which at one point Virginia was not playing well. He had a touchdown run where 8 Duke players hit him and he still scored. So he's a guy that can bounce off and show his power.
And what I like in the big game, a back sometimes tries to do too much. Tiki Barber has been patient. He hasn't been fumbling the ball, taking big chances. He's been waiting for things to happen, and now it looks like he's going to play a little more physical in the second half.
Remember, he dropped the ball, fumbled early in the first quarter, and boy, has he made up for it. Here he is on a draw play. Ran right into Roy again. Roy is having a big game. Gary, you said he's got to come to the forefront. I think he's starting to.
Well, Chuck Amato, the defensive line coach, and Mickey Andrews really touted this guy as the guy who could replace Derek Alexander. Derek Alexander went pro early. He was a #1 draft price. This time, Jason Augustino is going to try to take on Roy. He cannot do it one-on-one. Roy throws him away and into the backfield. They said he was a terror in spring ball, but he hurt his ribs early. He's just now getting healthy.
3rd down 10. Groh, the middle, got it to Crowell for the first down at midfield. Robert Hammond made the tackle, but Jermaine Crowell, a sophomore out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with a catch.
Brad, Mickey Andrews in these long situations, this is what I usually expect from a Mickey Andrews defense. He likes to combo people. This guy and this guy are going to take pro, but he comes right in the middle right there and gets the catch. When you got 2 guys covering you, you hook right in between them. Stop. A good throw can beat double coverage.
It did. Down at midfield. Groh, play action. Throws the outs, got Pete Allen out of bounds, first down. Groh sharp here to start the 3rd quarter.
Well, Pete Allen is a guy who's got plenty of experience. He's a true senior. He's played as a true freshman. He's a 4-year starter for this football team. He's not going to get overly excited about the game, and he has had a really productive game in this so far early, and he's really catching the ball with his hands so far and keeping everything in front of him.
Good night from Mike Groh. Tiki Barber weaves inside. I think Roy again got in on the tackle down on the bottom. And Bobby Bowden coming in 7-0 on the season. This is only their 2nd road game. And boy, are they in for it.
They really are, and you know, at Florida State, really nothing counts but the national championship. So you every game, you don't only have to win, you have to win big.
And very little has been said about the fact that if they won tonight, they'd have a share of the ACC crown for the 4th straight year.
Doesn't mean much there.
2nd down at 10, deep to the middle, the tight end, and he had his hands on it, Neely, and he got separated by Byron Capers from the football.
Well, Neely showed what they expected him to do, get the ball deep in the release downfield, and I think this is the hardest throw that Groh has made in this whole football game. He's got the tight end, he rips the ball in there between the seams, and Neely drops the ball. Capers hit him late, but that was a drop pass.
I think Neely's showing rust, if you ask me.
You're exactly right. He's still enough of a threat, though, Brad, that they have to keep him in the game. He's making somebody else make catches.
Crowell's going to have to call a timeout as he came in from the sideline, and Groh is disappointed in that with a 3rd and 10 upcoming. They will have time to talk about it with George Welsh on the sideline.
No blitz this time.
Groh, plenty of time, throws complete to Owen. Has he got a first down? I think so.
Virginia just so well coached. When you see that bracket coverage, and that's what Tom O'Brien knew he was going to get, in and out coverage on your wide receivers, you just go down the field and hook in between them. Both guys got you. One guy's got you to the outside, one guy's got you to the inside. You stop in between them, you throw the hook, and you can Colsey and Hammond that time. Key comes over and help, but boy, that is perfect execution against bracket coverage. In and out, stop in between.
This started the 3rd quarter, 10th play of the drive that began at the 19 after the kickoff return. Groh on the run, not a good pass intended for Demetrius Allen. Let's check in with Jerry.
You saw the completion a moment ago in the Seminoles secondary. That's because they're without their junior free safety, Sean Hamlet. Now, Hamlet was in the locker room at halftime, received IV fluids for cramps and dehydration. He has yet not come back in the second half. And, oh, by the way, the other guy getting IVs at halftime was Warrick Dunn, their star tailback. I'm told he probably will miss the first couple series here in the 3rd quarter.
Bobby Bowden worried about cold weather when he first got up here. Now he's got 2 of his starters getting IVs. 2nd and 10. Tiki Barber. Barber straight up the middle inside the 20.
not only that, Brad, but Samari Roll, the cornerback who's gotten beaten once and came up with a good interception, he is also not out there. I have word that he had a hip pointer in the first half. Remember, we saw him limping off that one time. So really, they have 2 starters in that secondary that is not out there.
There's Dunn. He's back. 3rd down and 2. Huge 3rd down and 2 for the Florida State defense. The opening march of the 3rd quarter for the Cavaliers. Tiki Barber. I don't know. Down on the bottom of the pile. Looks like he's a little bit short of the 1st down to me. Sam Cohort, the linebacker, made the hit.
That's a nice stop by that Florida State defense that time. Bouncing Tiki Barber outside, a little bit of a traffic, and now George Welch is saying, I didn't want that play. I wanted to play outside. What are you running inside for? Yeah, it's great to be the guy that always can second guess. We like it up here, don't we?
Right, we love it.
Yeah.
4th down, and they're not going to go for the field goal. Here comes an extra tight end.
George right then wanted them to hurry up and snap the ball before they substituted their defense.
They got the defensive substitution in. Florida State's been stingy in second half, so now Groh's got to hustle the count. 4th down, less than a yard. Trying to draw him offside. And flags fly in.
Well, it's going to be delay a game. He did try to dry him off, but I think with the field goal kicker they have, they figure they can kick 5 yards farther back, so they can from here also.
Dead ball. Delay of the game. 5 yards. 4th down.
So they'll take it out to about the 23. It's going to be about a 40-yard kick. Here's George Welch before the play. Snap the ball.
Snap the ball. I don't know. He must have had a play on, but, you know, if you're the quarterback and things don't feel right up there, you don't feel your guy set, you just can't go if the team's not ready. Mike Groh might have said, Coach, I didn't think we were ready.
Garcia now is hit 2 for 2 tonight. Try a 40-yarder. Not a very good snap. A nice placement put down by Sherman, and Garcia got it.
Man, I got a little bit of a hook with that left footer coming in there right in between.
10 minutes, 38 seconds. Bobby Bowden looks up at the scoreboard and sees his team down 9.
Especially with a quarterback that put up 300 yards passing on you in the first half.
Exactly.
It's a long way to go.
Tom O'Brien talking with Mike Groh. Danny Kanell on the sideline awaiting his chance. Jermaine Green and Dee Feaster await Garcia's kick. It's a good one. Feaster will take it a yard deep. And Feaster still on his feet across the 25. Doesn't want to go down and finally does at the 30 as we head down to Jerry Punch. Doc.
Guys, keeping with our Thursday night tradition, we have a guest coach as a guest analyst here, and this week another Division I undefeated head coach, John Cooper from the Ohio State Buckeyes. And Coach, before I send you upstairs, you've got to be watching this ball game with a lot of anticipation, knowing your Buckeyes are inching closer to the top of those polls.
Well, I certainly am, Jerry. It's a great ball game. It's a great game for the fans. Offensive game. I don't think I've seen as much offense in one half between two football teams as I'm seeing here tonight.
From the 30. Kanell wants to throw a screen and does to Preston. And Preston hurdles back across the 35 out to the 38-yard line. And Coach Cooper, nice to have you along with us tonight. And John, I was going to say, I've seen a team that had a lot of offense in a half. You last week, 56 points in 2 quarters.
Brad, thank you very much. That's about as good as we can play. Bobby Hoying and Terry Glenn, Eddie George, Ricky Dudley, and our offensive team had a big Orlando Pace, and the rest of the offensive line had a great game.
Get right back to you, Coach, after Kanell with a first down at the 42-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Warrick Dunn, first time he's touched it since he was in the locker room with the IVs at halftime, and he picks up about 8 yards.
Coach, it's a little bit different now at Ohio State. Your receivers watch this game, and they're not in envy of this offense anymore with the new style you're running.
Well, that's exactly right, Gary. We've got some great receivers. Terry Glenn, Buster Tillman. I mentioned Ricky Dudley, our great tight end, and Bobby Hoying, our great quarterback, makes it go.
Second down, 2. The second man through is done, and it looks like he's got a first down at about the 47-yard line. Todd White made the tackle. John, as anybody that watched the game we did last week knows, you pulled all your starters at halftime. Have you had any second thoughts about that after what Iowa did in the second half?
No, not at all, Brad. Our young players work hard during the week. My philosophy is if you work hard during the week in practice, you ought to get a chance to play on Saturday, so I don't regret that at all.
First down, and Pooh Bear Williams, short gain, maybe a yard.
Hey, Brett, John's good at timing these answers and letting us get the snap in, John. You've had some experience in this
that big Pooh Bear. We tried to recruit him, but he weighed about 220 when we talked to him out of high school. Looks like he weighs about 280 right now.
You know, this shotgun, is this the next step in the evolution of the Ohio State offense? You go to the shotgun all the time like this?
I'll tell you, Gary, this is fast break football, isn't it?
Couldn't be much faster. Point a minute. The pace that we're on almost for both teams tonight. Kanell stands in and finally gets flushed for the first time, and down he goes.
You got to have a little bit of pressure like that. That was a great pass rush.
That's exactly what Rick Lance was telling us, the defensive coordinator for Virginia, John. You've got to get hits on Kanell at some point, whether it's before, during, or after a play.
And it looks like, Brad, they're only rushing 3 linemen. It's really hard to get a good pass rush when you're rushing 3 and defending with 8, but that's a great rush there by the front 3 of Virginia.
And John, you're exactly right, and that was the changeup for this game. Rick Lance, a little bit of a changeup. They're running a 3-3-5, and it has given Florida State some problems. Kanell threw an interception against that defense at the end of the half.
Here's a 3rd and 20, and here comes the heat again, and down he goes again.
Hey, you got a fired up Virginia football team there tonight, I can say that. George has got them ready to play, doesn't he?
That he does. And 44,000 screaming for sack number 2 in a row.
I think not only the pressure inside, but downfield, John. They're starting to get in those zones and not allow Kanell the easy throw.
Well, that's the whole secret, and I thought Lee Corso had a great point. Looks like Florida State's trying to get the easy touchdown. They're trying to go for the bomb, quite often.
Tiki Barber on the punt return, a punt that was almost blocked, and Barber got the corner. Whoa, has he got some speed. 7:26 left, 3rd quarter. The number 2 team in the country's in a heap of trouble in Charlottesville. And
John,
the top 5 looks like this.
John, can your team get to 1 or 2 without 2 of those teams losing?
I think we can. I don't know if anybody's playing any better than we are right now, Gary. We've played 6 teams ranked in the top 25 in the country, and played Washington, Notre Dame, Penn State, Wisconsin back-to-back. It's 2 of those games on the road, so I don't know if anybody's playing any better than we are right now.
Right now, the scenario, if this game would hold, Coach Cooper, Florida State, if they were to be upset, that would move you up a notch. And then remember, Florida on the 25th plays Florida State. Let's say Florida State returns, then beats Steve Spurrier's Gators. Now you're talking if Ohio State would move up to 2, it could get interesting.
Well, Brad, there's a lot of football left to be played. Anything can happen before this season's over.
From the 39, Virginia with a 9-point advantage and a first down. And only about a yard, maybe 2 for Tiki Barber.
John, how nervous are you? Everybody's saying now that you've only got 1 more football game to win. You got to beat Michigan at Michigan, and you're going to taste it off. How do you keep your football team focused on going up to Minnesota, a team everybody thinks you should walk over?
Yeah, we've got 4 tough football games. We go to Minnesota this week. We come home, play Illinois and Indiana, and then, of course, we go to Michigan. They're all tough, and when you play in the Big Ten Conference, it doesn't get any better than this, in my opinion.
George Welsh looking on, the winningest coach in Virginia history and the winningest coach in Navy history. And boy, would this be a huge notch in the holster. You can pull an upset. Groh is going down, and it's Tyrant Marion just back after the injury, starting tonight with a sack.
Thursday night football, John. Would you like to have your football team play on Thursday nights?
I'd rather play Saturday afternoon. I tell you, like you said, Gary, I'm nervous here now. I'm more nervous right here tonight watching this ball game than I am when we play. I tell you, we've got a couple of great coached, well-coached football teams. George Welsh and Bobby Bowden do a great job.
But what about Thursday night? Why won't the Big Ten and some of the other schools get involved in this Thursday night routine?
Well, it wouldn't be too bad if you had an open date the next week. But up here, it seems like we play on Saturdays. One school starts to play all of our games on Saturdays.
3rd down, 17. Groh flares it out to his safety valve. Brooks breaks a tackle and gets to about the 41-yard line back across the original line of scrimmage.
Hey, Coach Jerry Punch again. Thanks for taking time out of your home there in Columbus, Ohio, and joining us tonight as our guest. And listen, hey, best of luck to you against Minnesota and the rest of the year.
Well, thank you very much. You guys do a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Coach. Coach John Cooper of Ohio State, and there aren't many people that can say any more undefeated team.
Too bad they don't get an opportunity to win it all on the field the way it should be done.
That's right. Will Bryce to punt. D. Feaster is back, and he can change the scoreboard in a hurry, too, if you give him an opening. But I don't think Bryce is going to give him an opening. What a kick. But here comes Feaster the other way. Out across the 30 to the 33. 51-yard kick, but a 23-yard D. Feaster return with 5:15 remaining third quarter. Getting paid for it now. 9-point Florida State deficit, 5:15 in the third. Here's Warrick Dunn. And Dunn got out to the 38. Wally Rayner, the freshman, with a tackle. Let's check in with Jerry Punch.
Talked to Cavalier head coach George Welch at halftime. Asked him what his concern. I said, what concerns you most in the second half? He looked at me straight in the eyes and said, the Florida State offense. They're frightening. They're explosive. We've been very successful going from our 4-3 to our 3-4, rushing 3 men. We've got to be that successful in the second half and have our offense keep their offense off the football field.
There's the 3 rushing, but Kanell off play action. He is getting harried back there in the pocket and throws it away wisely. And again, Danny has to pick himself off the turf. Todd White was back there in his face, as was Dwayne Ashman.
You look at this defense, what you're going to see is a picket fence. Everybody stay in their zone. The linebackers are going to back up. Just stay at home. Stay at home. Spread yourself out. Keep the quarterback and the receivers in front of you and force Danny Kanell to make some tough throws. That's the object.
Third down along 4. Kanell rolls and fires. Threw it in and hit his intended receiver, Cooper, but he got popped as he tried to haul it in, and it's incomplete.
Skeet Jones, the middle linebacker that time, did a nice job, and Jamie Sharper, outside linebacker, just stayed in there. Jones reacted to the ball and came in, got a hit on the play, and Sharper, number 33, is the guy who got the kick just as the ball got there.
Fourth time it's been 3 and out for the Florida State offense. Sean Liss has had 1 block and almost the last time, too. And here comes a 10-man rush again. Lazy end-over-end kick. Tiki Barber, fair catch, dropped it, but scooped it up at the 30-yard line. Throughout the season, America Honda has recognized outstanding students for their athletic and scholastic achievements. The winner of this week's Honda Scholar Athlete Award is wide receiver Patrick Jeffers of Virginia, who Jerry talked to earlier. Currently a grad student with a 3.2 GPA in psychology. Honda proud to donate $3,000 to Virginia's General Scholarship Fund on behalf of Patrick Jeffers. Our congratulations to him. And you know it's eating his guts out that he's not out here watching his team from the sideline up by 9 against the number 2 team in the country. Here's Brooks, and a little quick opener. He got about 4. Todd Rebo made the tackle. Brooks comes in there, and they lose really nothing. Although Tiki Barber, boy, when he hits the corner, look out.
There is a different dimension, but they have to keep it. I think that's what's really been key in this football game for Virginia. They're looking to win this game in the 4th quarter. They're keeping their players fresh. They've substituted on the offense and the defensive line, and they're going to say, I want to get it to the 4th quarter and let fresh guys have a chance to win.
Some fresh guys in at wide receiver right now. A 2nd and 6. One of them, Myron Owen, moves in motion. Here's Medley. He got popped at the line of scrimmage.
Darrell Bush that time, the inside backer, who's really the center of that defense and really makes the tackles, was forced inside. He came up and wrapped it up. But they have really kept these outstanding Florida State linebackers guessing the whole game. They don't know if it's bootleg, inside run, option, rollout. They have really taken the linebackers out of the game.
The linebackers go out of the game with the nickel defense in on 3rd and 5. 3 wideouts for the Cavaliers. Again, Ryan Owen in motion. Groh over the middle, 2 Owen. Made the catch across the middle, but he's at least a yard short of the 1st down. Sam Cowart made a nice stop defensively, and it'll be a punting situation for the Cavaliers.
This is the type of defense that I think gives most quarterbacks the most trouble. They're double teaming a different guy each time. You have to really be patient and read it, and Cowart did a good job that time of reading the quarterback's eyes and being the extra guy over there and making the play. No more gambling early in this 3rd period.
Will Bryce to punt. The left footer hit another bomb. Feaster has to call fair catch and almost dropped it. Nice job by Feaster to get over to shag that thing down. Coming up on Saturday, ESPN2 has a big chunk of college football for you. At noon, we'll start things off with the Baylor Bears taking on Miami in the Orange Bowl. Then at 7, 4th-ranked Ohio State. John Cooper, head coach of the Buckeyes, go into Minnesota, as the coach just told you. Worried about that one, as they always would be. Don't forget all the scores and highlights and post-game sound on Sports Night as well. That's on ESPN2 this weekend.
Something else we haven't talked about in this football game, I think, is the importance of Virginia having the bye week before they played this Florida State team. It's like facing the wishbone if you haven't had time to prepare for it. This extra days of work have really helped that defense get ready for this football game. And remember, when Florida State had big trouble trying to make their offense go, it was against Notre Dame and Nebraska. And when you give those coaches times in those bowl games, that's when they've been able to prepare for this different offense.
Good point. Football all the way back at the 6-yard line. Just inside the 7 anyway. Kanell from the end zone. Screen pass to Dunn. And he's dropped inside the 5.
By Poindexter again.
Wow.
And that's a defense that I don't think if they had played Saturday and play them the next Saturday, they don't have time to put this defense in. But now it's a changeup, and it is giving Florida State trouble because they're allowing to get Poindexter, one of their best athletes, on the field. Credit Rick Lance with a good game plan against this shotgun offense.
Credit Poindexter for being one of those Jeff Fuller types that not everybody has on their ball club. 2nd down at 13. Toss to Dunn. And Warrick didn't get to the 10 because Poindexter and Ferrier are there to meet him.
Poindexter's such an interesting athlete. He's just a freshman, but he was a high school quarterback. He was drafted by the Marlins in baseball. That's the type of athlete he is. He's a very aware football player. And what surprised me is the coach has said he's a vicious hitter.
Yep. One of their best tacklers, one of their top tacklers, and a lot of the time doesn't start. He had 15 tackles against Clemson. He had 11 against Georgia Tech. He's having that kind of night again tonight, and it's 3rd down and 8. Kanell, deep ball with a man wide open, Riley, but he overshot.
You gotta have some breaks sometime. Paul London right now is happy. The deep safety bit on Kanell's eyes, and boy, he was wide open. Shotgun snap, you're back there. You see number 5, top of your screen. Just a little bit of a stutter step. There's the ball. Riley's wide open, and Kanell just misjudges the speed.
Punt is a beauty from Liss, but Barber's got a chance from the 41. Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber. Down the sideline. Pooh Bear Williams saved a touchdown. 24-yard return of a 50-yard punt by Tiki Barber.
Tiki Barber showing patience, goes right, left, right up the gut. And I'm surprised that Pooh Bear Williams was able to catch him this time. Pooh Bear, 280 pounds, and he showed you why he's a fullback at 280 pounds, because he would have scored.
Coming up right after the game, Keith Olbermann and Linda Cohn get you caught up on the new Yankee manager, Joe Torre. Alonzo Mourning, is he going to be traded? And the Cowboys' troubles. All that more on SportsCenter following our CFA primetime action from Charlottesville. Groh nailed, looking for some place to deposit that, and instead Darrell Bush deposited Mike Groh.
Yeah, and that one hurt because Darrell Bush had a 12-yard head start, and Mike Groh stopped, and that's when you get pasted when you're a quarterback. You move inside of one guy, bootleg. It's been good to him before, but that time the fullback, Medley, was not able to get out, and Groh, you saw the collision. That one hurt.
And that's when you end up with prescription athletic turf helmet is what you end up with. He's got most of it out of there. 2nd and 17. Brooks on the draw, and he got back to the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. And that is going to do it for quarter number 3. Virginia's Cavaliers trying to stop the long streak of Florida State. They've beaten 29 in a row in conference play. It's in some serious jeopardy. The end of 3 from Charlottesville. It's Virginia 30. The Seminoles of Florida State 21. Don't go away.
Game not over.
But Virginia has ball. 3rd and 10.
Right now.
And they're up by 9. Just inside the Florida State 25. High snap. Groh handles it. And there goes any chance for more points from Virginia. He's dropped back at the 38-yard line. And it would be a huge gamble to try a field goal here. It'd be about 55 yards.
Yeah, but I'm not going to guess anymore with him on this field goal thing. I would punt, but, you know, I would have punted the last one.
So will George.
This one is a rocket. And Groh did an excellent job as Gatham, the backup center, was in Lachlan. The #1 guy was not in, and that's really what caused the play, trying to get your guys some rest. Big play happens with your backup center.
Now Bryce, who's been booming punts, will not be asked to do so. Got to get one inside the 10. He hits it a mile in the air. He's given his coverage unit a chance. How about inside the 5? That's doing your job. 32-yard kick, about a mile in the air, and drops inside the 5. And his teammates saying to center Dave Gathman, hey man, you've been out, you've been injured. He basically played a good part of the beginning of the season, had knee surgery in September, just coming back, and he had the high snap. So now Florida State takes over, but they're in a hole inside the 5. Bobby Bowden trying to fire his troops up on the sideline.
Let's go. Remember Florida, guys. We were in this position before. We did it before, but in the 3rd quarter, Florida State 12 plays, 17 yards.
Kanell from his own end zone off play action. Fires it down the middle, incomplete. Intended for E.G. Green, and Ferrier got a deep drop from his linebacker spot to help break that up.
And if that would have been a good throw, that was one that was tried a little bit too much of a gamble. Ferrier, number 42, you see him in the middle of your screen. That ball was thrown low, or that would have been picked off. Kanell, it's always hard to throw that ball over the middle if you don't account for the linebackers.
He's been quiet tonight, Gary's Andre Cooper. Had a 46-yarder earlier, but he has been quiet since. And Kanell goes incomplete. Nobody home out there receiver-wise as we check in with Dr. Jerry Punch. Doc?
Now, as you're referring to the Florida game a year ago when Florida State had to come back late in the football game to collect the win or the tie, Bobby Bowden, the very last thing he said in the locker room at halftime to his offense is, if we don't go out and play like we did against Florida, we're going to come back in here in 30 minutes as losers. And that's not a very good feeling.
Now they're 13 minutes, 58 seconds away from that very feeling. Danny Kanell, only 3 of his last 12, and now the Seminoles a little confused as well. Timeout.
The reason he took a timeout is he only had 10 men on the field.
That's confused. 13:58 remaining in the ball game. Virginia trying to pull the shocker and leading by 9. 3rd and 10 from his own end zone. Incomplete. Florida State will have to punt from its own end zone.
Defensive coordinator Rick Lance for Virginia has got a hot hand. It's a 3-3-5 defense, a defense very similar to the Penn State defense that they used against Miami when Vinny Testaverde struggled in that game. They are playing just straight zone defense, and it's starting to cause problems for this Florida State offense.
Kick from Liss. Tiki Barber's going to have a chance from his own 48. Tripped over his own man trying to help him out, and he will go down in Florida State territory. Another full day of college football on ESPN coming up on Saturday. We will start things off 11:30 a.m. Eastern. It's College Game Day. Previews of all the big games, and then we'll take you to Iowa City as the Illini take on the Hawkeyes. Residents in College Scoreboard throughout the day, and at 7:30 it's Texas Tech and the Longhorns of Texas from Austin. That's all Saturday on ESPN. Ooh, it's not a full moon by any means, and we haven't played a full 4 quarters. But the Werewolves are out for Florida State on this Halloween past week. Here's Groh firing it out. Complete to the 42. Got it to Brian Owen. Groh says, well, I could have hit him a little better than that, but he'll take it.
Yeah, but he kept the ball low, was in a safe position. He was working on Samari Roll, is the guy I'd work on. You see the field position right there in the second half, and Virginia looking very good. They've been bottling up a lot of punts in the second half. Very different game from the first half, as if you've watched this in the first half and now with us in the second. If you didn't watch the first half, you missed it.
Shame on you. Second down 4. 3 wide out set for Mike Groh. Gonna loft one long. What a catch at the 14 by Owen.
And they are working on the player to the outside. This time Brian Capers, man-to-man bump and run. And this is the best ball Mike Groh has thrown in the game. He's got a receiver to the outside. Look at the box to the outside of the field. Owens gives him plenty of room. The ball is put to the outside. That is perfect execution. When you throw the fade route, your receiver has to give you 4 or 5 yards to the outside. It is much of a horizontal pass as it is a vertical pass.
And if Virginia can get a touchdown on this drive, it's a long ways back for Florida State. Down to about the 12, maybe the 11-yard line is Barber before Bush puts the hit on him. And the clock works its way to 12:45. Tiki Barber says, bring Brooks in, I hurt my left hand. And they're going to bring Medley. Freeze it, huh?
They never did that to me.
Second down and 7. Groh fires out incomplete. Crowell, the intended receiver. And out, Mike Groh just got hammered as he let go of that. I think it was Roy again.
It was. He is a man. He has really stepped up his play in this football game, coming from the outside. And really, Groh did not have time to stay with that play because Crowell was coming off late. It was kind of a delayed route, and Mike had to throw the ball early.
One thing that all the coaches will tell you about Mike Groh, he is one tough sucker, and he just got off the turf there and back up. Play comes in from the bench, and it's going to be 3rd down and 7.
You know, 302 yards passing on just 19 completions. You know he's getting the big play for his team, too. That surprises me a bit in this game.
Play action. Groh throws. It's intercepted by Samari Roll. And now the football comes loose and a penalty marker goes down. I don't know if he was attempting a lateral and it went forward or if there's some other infraction. We'll have to wait until they clear it all up in front of the Virginia bench.
Well, this time Mike Groh caught a coverage that he wasn't expecting. They stayed in a zone and they rolled up to the outside, and a guy who's gotten beaten, Roll, was standing right there and reacted to the ball.
And he and Colsey both have interceptions inside the 10 tonight, stopping scoring drive. Huge turnover right here.
Remember the play before, Groh was hit very hard. You wonder how he reacted to this game and how healthy he was with this throw. The ball sailed, but Roll did an outstanding job of going to get it. And I think he was trying to lateral the ball to Colsey.
At the 32-yard line. Florida State down 9 on offense. Kanell double pumps. Goes complete across the 35. Got it to Ronde. There's a turnover story.
Well, if you'd have told me that Virginia was going to turn the ball over 4 times in this game
and be leading
by 9, I would be very surprised.
We'd be checking your coffee, wouldn't we? Second down, and Kanell way too far out in front of Warrick Dunn on that little swing pass that's worked so effectively all night and all season long.
And there's a guy that really hasn't been as big a factor, and I thought one of the keys to this game was how effective Warrick Dunn was in this game. You know, he finished the half with only 60 yards. He had 8 rushes for 20 and 4 catches for 40. And by the yards they put in the second half, he must not have much more.
3rd down and 7. They've had too many 3-and-outs this half. Kanell all day to throw and way high, intended for Cooper. And the 4th straight time it's been 3 and kick for the Florida State offense.
Talk about Poindexter taking away Dunn. Here's Dunn back here. Here's Poindexter to the top. Watch him just shadow him to the outside. He leaves the screen. Dunn leaves the screen. Poindexter leaves the screen. Can't throw it to Dunn.
And now Sean List to punt. Tiki Barber with his left wrist and thumb taped is back to receive. He takes it at the 30. Got about 7 out of the return. With 11 minutes and 29 seconds. And now some of his teammates saying to Danny Kanell, we'll get it done. Just hang in there. Don't worry about it.
The zone defense and the 5 dropping linebackers has gotten Danny Kanell out of his game.
A 29-game streak on the line. If Bobby Bowden could win tonight, he'd do no worse than a tie for another conference championship, and he would tie the 2nd longest winning streak in conference play in the history of college football.
Yeah, but everybody gets on ACC, and what that graphic showed, I think, is not a lot of other teams are beating them, though, during this streak either, you know.
West Virginia had a streak back in the late 50s of 30 in a row. And of course, Bud Wilkinson's tremendous Oklahoma teams in the late 40s and all the way basically to the late 50s was the one that is in the record book. And a lot of people think, well, maybe Florida State could do that. Well, now they better worry about it.
One more time here. Look, I mean, Miami did it twice. Notre Dame did it. You know, and Florida got the tie. I mean, those teams, that's the best in college football. So the ACC come under a little criticism, but, you know, no one else is knocking them off either.
That's right. 2nd down and 8. Penalty markers down. Groh is down.
Oh, that one's going to hurt again. He got hit in the head, and I tell you, you take a few shots, and they start to build up. It's like a boxer. The longer the game goes on, I thought that Virginia would have to do that to Kanell, but now Groh is starting to take some punishment. And the decision-making starts to go when that happens.
And that last shot that Spires put on him right at the very end, he was running for his life. Watch number 90, the last hit, the one that's going to hurt probably more than the other ones.
Absolutely. You see Groh ducks under one right here, but Spires comes from the screen and just puts the head right there, drives him into the ground, and it just accumulates as just like a boxer in a game. It's gotten into the 10th round right now, and Groh's decision-making will not be as good now as it was in the middle of this football game.
Bo and Holyfield are waiting on each other Saturday. We got a couple heavyweights going at it right now, and Groh has to throw this one away as he was getting heat that time from Wilson again. And now the Virginia offense is short-circuited a bit.
Orphis Rowe has had some sacks. This time he was able to read the screen, get out in front of it, and that forced the throwdown. Number 98 is going to be in the middle of this screen right there to the outside. He grabs Barber. You can't throw it to that guy when there's a guy right in front of him that's 6'5" and has a white jersey on.
So another punting situation for Virginia. And you just can't keep opening the door too often for Florida State. A 9-point difference is not much. High snap. Handled it well. Feaster had a little trouble with that, and now he's got to lay off it. And what would have been probably no worse than the 25-yard line, as a flag flies in late, becomes the 9-yard line. That penalty marker came in almost at the very end of the play.
I think this one's going to be against Virginia too, maybe holding.
Block in the back above the waist on the receiving team.
Ooh.
Half the distance to the goal. First down.
You hate to see those kind of things when your punt returner doesn't even feel the ball.
What surprised me is it looked like they were holding the guy to the outside on the rush, but they didn't catch it.
So instead of the 9, it's inside the 5. Wow, look at that.
And remember, they put up 360 yards in the first half. Complete turnaround, and they've done it with a 3-man rush. That goes against everything that everyone thought about this game, that they had to put pressure on Kanell. They've done it with a soft zone defense.
Georgia Tech tried something like this, and they slowed things down a little bit, but they had huge turnovers that became points for Florida State, and that hasn't been too much of the case tonight. That one's almost intercepted. Paul London says he has it, but he doesn't. That's a one-hopper. Todd White with the pressure on Kanell.
It was Todd White that got in there and forced Danny Kanell to throw the ball a bit before he wanted to, and this one was up for grabs. Again, just a 3-man rush, a stunt up front. Number 91, White, comes around and gets right onto Kanell, and those are the hits they need on Kanell late in the game. He's not throwing well right now. He's got to remember that he's got to rush.
That was a non-interested attempt at a block by Pooh-Bear Williams, I'll tell you that much. Here's a screen to Preston. And Rock Preston only got to the 7. Ferrier, the linebacker, got over to make the stop. And we are going to be under 10 minutes the next time Florida State snaps it.
Brad, you want to see good defense? Here's a screen. 3 guys are going to come out and block this time. They fake it, and they're going to run the screen. 3 blockers come out right there. Now freeze it right there. 1, 2, 3. Now watch, Virginia's going to have 3 guys with them. 1, 2, 3. Great defense.
3rd down and long. Kanell from his own end zone. And he's going deep down the left sideline. Cooper trying to make the catch, but Barber breaks it up.
I'm not so sure Cooper didn't break it up on that one.
Could be.
Barber is the thief on this team, and he had his eyes. That was a thrown up one, and as Jerry Punch said, Cooper's arm is hurting, so he really gutted it out to knock that ball down.
5th straight time without a first down for Florida State's offense. In fact, they haven't had a first down since there was 9 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. They've gone a quarter without a first down, and List from his own end zone again. Tiki Barber runs up on it, but fumbled and got back on top of it at the 34-yard line. And now great field position again for Virginia with 9.5 to play. Remaining games for the ranked opponents. Nebraska's got a couple of tough ones in their conference. Florida State, this game, can they possibly come back? And then Florida on the 25th. That's with a couple other ACC games mixed in. Florida, their toughest opponent yet to come. Florida State and Ohio State, as Coach Cooper and Gary are talking about Michigan. Groh comes up firing, and too high, intended for Allen. He's covered out there by James Colsey. And it's incomplete, 2nd and 10. I'm not so sure. Well, maybe a cramp situation for Pete Allen on the far sideline.
Pete Allen has been running up and down this field. Remember, Virginia is 1 player short with Jeffers not being in this football game, so Allen has had to take more snaps.
And that probably is going to mean that there's Jeffers on the sideline.
Leading receiver for the football team.
And Pete Allen's going to try to walk off the cramps. Run him off as he comes back to the Virginia sideline.
And once you get those, they usually don't go away the rest of the game. You kind of have to suffer through it. You might run a play and you'll cramp up again.
Yep. Remember, Sean Hamlin and Warrick Dunn were a couple of Florida State players that needed some fluid at halftime.
And I'm really stretching my expertise there because I'm not strong enough to have a cramp.
You got to have muscles first,
you
right?
You really do. It's one prerequisite. They just tell me that.
At the 34, 2nd down and 10, Virginia. The give inside to Tiki Barber, straight up the middle. First down, Cavaliers. Boy, he went 13 yards, about as fast up the middle of the field as you can.
There's delayed draws, and then there's quick-hitting draws. This was a quick-hitting draw. Watch Tiki Barber. He starts before he gets the ball. Boom, he's hit it. Trap up front in the middle. They get a good block from Slocum from number 64, and we're into the secondary before everybody turns their head.
Remember, Virginia's had a couple of starts in Florida State territory this half that have not produced points. The last one was another interception by Roll inside the 5.
And then the high snap where they didn't get anything.
Exactly. At the 21. This is what I would do, I think, is give it to a guy like Tiki Barber because he's already closing in 140 yards on the ground. Don't forget, Sports Center follows us. And 8:45 left in this game. That would be not only a huge upset, but a huge upset as far as the rankings in college football. Bobby Bowden knows that. Trust me, he's not thinking about that right now. He's thinking about trying to get the ball back and getting his offense to not go 3 and out, as they've done 5 straight times. And there's Barber's numbers. I say 140. I stand corrected, 160. And here he comes again. Down to the 16-yard line. Capers put the hit on him.
Such a huge difference, though, with a 9-point lead. The difference between a field goal and a touchdown here for Virginia. You know, you add it up, 9-3-12, 2 touchdowns still beat you. You put that touchdown on the board, and that changes the whole complexion of the football game. Don't think Tom O'Brien and that staff doesn't realize that. They want to get in the end zone here. They just don't want to settle for 3 points.
If they do get a touchdown and they get a 1-point conversion, that would be a 2-touchdown and 2-point conversions for Florida State, just a tie. Barber.
Great defense that time. Sam Cohen, number 56, stayed inside, read the play. They figured it was going to be an inside run play. The linebackers finally getting involved. You see, when you run right at the defense, those linebackers, Bush and Cowart and Rebo, can make plays.
So here comes the field goal unit. They clear away from Rafael Garcia to let him set up shop himself. It'll be right at the 25, a 35-yard field goal attempt. Perfect tonight.
Remember, the last snap was not a great snap.
Garcia's kick is good. 4 for 4 for Garcia. And Bobby Bowden looks up there and said, well, it's still only a dozen. We're down with 6:57 left to go. Florida State trailing by 12. The streak, 6:57 from being broken, and a chance at a national championship obviously will be vanishing unless Danny Kanell and the Florida State offense can find some fire here in a hurry.
If I was Danny Kanell, I wouldn't be one bit worried about this time. There's plenty of time in this football game. I know how fast we can do it. And I think Florida State needs to do is throw the ball a little deeper now. They've been throwing the ball in short hooks. They need to hit medium range, about 15 to 20-yard passes across the middle into the outside.
Garcia just jacks a kickoff. They'll have to go 80 to get their first one. Kanell not flawless in the first half, but huge numbers in the first half and almost none in the second.
He really has been out of sync, obviously, with those stats, but he just has not been able to get an offense in sync. They've had poor field position the second half, and they've been trying to hit those hitches. They need to get the ball a little deeper behind those linebackers.
His counterpart, Mike Groh, on the Virginia sideline, would be the biggest win of his career if this holds. 1st and 10, Florida State. Kanell, that's a lateral. That's a double pass coming up. Dunn going deep for Cooper. And he got him at the 50. Warrick Dunn, that's not the first time he's thrown a pass this year. Second completion for him. This one good for 33 yards.
Bobby Bowden always brings a lot of trick plays with him when they come, and that's the first trick play that's worked in this game so far. It's the second pass attempt. You're exactly right, Brad. Look at it. It's a lateral. Cooper goes downfield that time, and London and Ellsworth have to react to it.
Now back to his quarterback throwing. Down inside the 35, complete to E.G. Green. And now here comes the Gulf Coast offense starting to click. Pick up a 13 and a first down.
And that's the first time that Danny Kanell has had no one in his face and plenty of time. And when you're only rushing 3 guys, that offensive line needs to give him longer time to throw the ball and no one in his face.
Looks right and now pumps and goes for Green again, and he's got it inside the 10. Just like that, 1st and goal, Seminoles.
And that's the area that I'm talking about that they need to attack this zone defense. They need to throw the ball downfield in the 20-yard range. There's 2 in a row that they've thrown, and they just like that. You know, it doesn't even take a minute to move the ball down the field against this zone defense when you have this type of an offense.
And you can hear a collective inhale at Scott Stadium from 44,000 people. They're going, uh-oh. Timeout with 6 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the ball game. Florida State down by 12 but driving. Florida State trailing by 12. The streak, 6:57 from being broken, and a chance at a national championship obviously will be vanishing unless Danny Kanell and the Florida State offense can find some fire here in a hurry.
If I was Danny Kanell, I wouldn't be one bit worried about this time. There's plenty of time in this football game. I know how fast we can do it. And I think Florida State needs to do is throw the ball a little deeper now. They've been throwing the ball in short hooks. They need to hit medium range, about 15 to 20-yard passes across the middle into the outside.
Garcia just jacks a kickoff. They'll have to go 80 to get their first one. Kanell not flawless in the first half, but huge numbers in the first half and almost none in the second.
He really has been out of sync, obviously, with those stats, but he just has not been able to get an offense in sync. They've had poor field position the second half, and they've been trying to hit those hitches. They need to get the ball a little deeper behind those linebackers.
His counterpart, Mike Groh, on the Virginia sideline, would be the biggest win of his career if this holds. 1st and 10, Florida State. Kanell, that's a lateral. That's a double pass coming up. Dunn going deep for Cooper. And he got him at the 50. Dunn. That's not the first time he's thrown a pass this year. Second completion for him. This one good for 33 yards.
Bobby Bowden always brings a lot of trick plays with him when they come, and that's the first trick play that's worked in this game so far. It's the second pass attempt. You're exactly right, Brad. Look at it. It's a lateral. Keeper goes downfield that time, and London and Ellsworth have to react to it.
Now back to his quarterback throwing. Down inside the 35, complete to E.G. Green, and now here comes the Gulf Coast offense starting to click in a first down.
That's the first time that Danny Kanell has had no one in his face and plenty of time. When you're only rushing 3 guys, that offensive line needs to give him longer time to throw the ball and no one in his face.
Looks right and now pumps and goes for Green again, and he's got it inside the 10. Just like that, first and goal, Seminoles.
And that's the area that I'm talking about that they need to attack this zone defense. They need to throw the ball downfield in the 20-yard range. There's 2 in a row that they've thrown, and they just like that. You know, it doesn't even take a minute to move the ball down the field against this zone defense when you have this type of an offense.
And you can hear a collective inhale at Scott Stadium from 44,000 people. They're going, uh-oh. And timeout. With 6 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the ball game. Florida State down by 12, but driving.
Virginia's going to have to score again, I think, to win this football game. And probably more than a field goal.
Riley, Green, and Cooper, the wideouts for Kanell, who's under center, but he'll keep it on the ground. And Dunn dives. Got there. Touchdown. So making an 80-yard march. And it only took them about 40 seconds.
That's about it, didn't it?
Well, the field goal came with 6:57, and now we've got 6:13 left. And Florida State will go for 2 here.
Well, I'm not sure. They've got the kicker on and Kanell on at the same time.
I'm not sure one does them much more good than the other, but maybe it does in the long run when you start adding things up if Virginia got another field goal.
Well,
I haven't had time to go into that.
It makes it an 8-point game, but, you know, Florida State can't afford a tie in this game either.
And remember, they have had trouble even with extra points at times this year.
But I think the call here is the extra point. I would agree with the 1-pointer.
Scott Bentley. He's only missed 2 this year. I shouldn't say that's a lot of trouble considering how many touchdowns they scored. Tucked it in the left side.
Nice kick by Bentley because that ball was dropped. It was not handled well by the holder that time, and Bentley followed through and got the kick. There's a flag down on the play, however.
Penalty marker. Offside Virginia is the preliminary call we get from Courtney Mozzie, our referee.
Offsides on the defense. Penalized on the kickoff. Extra point is good.
Have you seen 2 guys that have Tiki Barber and Warrick Dunn type of speed when they hit the corner?
I really haven't seen a lot of players. I mean, Metcalf is a guy I think of who he runs like, but it just turns the corner. You can have an angle on him if you want him. Ferrier does, but Warrick Dunn just gets into the end zone. And then the hold, we talked about the extra point. Kanell is the holder on this play. He bobbles it off the ground, and Bentley makes a perfect job of just trusting his holder, going through with the kick, and making the kick.
Well, Dunn and Barber have both done their work tonight. Tiki Barber has the better numbers, but that big touchdown by Warrick Dunn helps the look of his evening without a doubt. 2 all ACC running backs, both with over 1,000 last year. Barber well over that already this season.
1 minute, the fans here were tasting a big upset. Now they're gargling.
They went from Chardonnay to Listerine in a hurry, didn't they?
Now they're nervous. You bet.
80 yards, 4 plays in 44 seconds. That's what Florida State just did. Bentley to kick. The luxury that short drive allowed them to. They don't have to worry about onside kicks and all of that. Just blast it away and try to get it back with your defense. Allen from the 2. And he goes only to about the 16-yard line. Lamont Green made a nice job to make the tackle on the special teams. Coming up on ESPN Sunday afternoon at 1:30 Eastern, USA basketball from Storrs, Connecticut. It's the U.S. women's national team. Teresa Edwards, Cheryl Swoops, and the rest of the crew, along with Rebecca Lobo, takes on her old team, the freshly crowned Lady Huskies of UConn. Check it out Sunday, 1:30 on ESPN. Bobby Bowden is working that gum, and we've got the Sports Center gang working too, but they're going to have to wait another 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Worst starting position of the half for the Cavaliers. Tiki Barber with a blocker in front. He got the corner again. Out to the 34, maybe the 35-yard line. 19-yard scamper, and now he's closing on a career high in this game. That may give it to him, as a matter of fact. 182. He's about one more carry away from his best, which is 185. What a huge game for a guy who fumbled in the opening quarter. You don't remember that, do you?
No, that's impossible to remember. There's been 700 yards of offense in the first half afterwards. Remember, they have not come back to that option play since that early touchdown. Same play the other way.
Crowell in motion.
Same
there
play
it is.
the other
Same
way.
play. And now he's going to go for a career high at 185 against Duke. He's past that here. We check in with Jerry Punch.
Hey, guys, if you're into numerology, check this out. Virginia had lost 29 consecutive times to Clemson before George Welsh came here as head coach. Florida State has beaten 29 consecutive ACC opponents. And the main road that runs right in front of Scott Stadium, you guessed it, Highway 29.
And the Seminoles thought they were living right when they realized their hotel was on Seminole Trail last night when they arrived. But maybe that wasn't a good omen after all. Still a lot of football left, though. Just under 5 minutes. 2nd down 4. Florida State brings a blitz. And it pays off as they're able to clog up the middle and bring Barber down after a short gain. It'll be 3rd down and a huge 2 coming up.
Danny Kanell now is feeling good about himself. He isn't going to remember those stats, doesn't even get concerned about it. He's going back to the positive vibes of that Florida comeback and that big throw he made against Notre Dame when that game was tight and he hit that football game. This is positive on that sideline. I think Virginia's going to have to gamble a bit more. They got to make a 1st down. They can't give him the ball back right now.
They've got a full 4 to go on 3rd down. Keep it on the ground, and it comes up short. About a yard, maybe not, maybe a couple of feet. Sam Cord put the stop on Barber, and now it's 4th down and less than 1.
Yeah, I don't think you have any choice. You got to punt it.
George Welsh bouncing around on the sideline. Here comes his punter, Will Bryce, who's done a great job dropping them inside the 10-yard line.
Not only that, but catching 3 snaps very high. They've been flirting with danger at the high snap.
59 is long tonight. He's not worried about 59 here.
Ooh, another.
Lays up a beauty. Feaster takes it at the 9. And got about 6 on the return. Nice job on the special teams. Groh got down there along with Phelan and made the hit. But remember, it only took Danny Kanell and Florida State 44 seconds to go 80 yards last time. The question is, can they go 85 with plenty of time?
So what happens now? Does the experience from the Michigan and Texas game help Virginia in this 4th quarter? Or does the snake bit feeling of those 2 losses haunt you in the back of your mind and a big play happens to you? That's what makes this game great here as we watch this last 3 minutes.
They've lost 3 games by 7 points total this year. Dunn out of the backfield, put a great move on. And he got almost 10 yards. Steve Jones, one of the linebackers, made the tackle. This is where Florida State has an advantage. They don't worry about a huddle. They just walk up there.
They don't, but Virginia has kept their guys fresh for this drive right here. Let's see if they can get a sack or make a play.
Kanell pumps once, now fires out in the flat, in and out of the hands of Cooper. He's having trouble. And maybe it's the arm injury, but he's dropped some tonight, and he doesn't drop many.
It is, but, you know, it's 2nd and a yard right here. They still have 2 more downs for it. Now it's 3rd down. Ball thrown to the outside. Kanell wanted to go deep with it. He settled for the easy throw. And you see Cooper try to beat the guy. It was Poindexter again before he caught the ball. Still 2 plays. Wouldn't be surprised to see the draw here on 3rd down.
3rd down, a long yard. There it is. Dunn got the first.
Got to make the 1st down. Still plenty of time in this football game.
They
Florida
had missed
State,
their last 6 3rd down conversions until that one.
but this was the first one that they had a position with just, you know, 3rd and a couple yards
Right.
to go for it. 2 timeouts for Florida State, just 1 for Virginia. Should State put something on the board?
Under 3 minutes to an upset or a miracle comeback for the Seminoles. Kanell flush. Throws deep middle. Intercepted. Picked off by Ellsworth. Ellsworth's 2nd interception of the night and his 6th of the year. And what a huge time to come up with it.
Percy Ellsworth is the safety back here. He's going to read Kanell's eyes the whole way. Watch as he comes out. And Danny Kanell makes the biggest mistake you can make as a quarterback. Going one direction and throwing across the middle of the field. If you aren't sure of it, it costs him an interception. And that's the 2nd interception, key interception that Ellsworth's made. And remember the tip he had on that one, too.
Just on the Florida State side of the 50, but now it's back in Virginia territory thanks to the hit for loss. Henry Crockett dropping.
This game
Tiki
is
Barber.
not over, though.
There's the pride of Druryville, Virginia, right there tonight.
He's had a tremendous football game. The whole defense, the game plan has been perfect. But Danny Kanell got greedy. He got greedy on a play that he should not have thrown the ball across the middle of the field, rolling to his right, and he might pay for it. He wants one more chance. He might not get it.
2nd down and 14. Tiki Barber's got a hole on the left side. It closed rather quickly, but he got near the 46-yard line. Bernard Wilson made the tackle.
The key thing was Mike Groh that time snapped that ball with 1 second on the 25-second clock. Florida State is forced to use one of their remaining 2 timeouts.
With 1:51 left, timeout, don't go anywhere. Virginia trying to cling to a 5-point lead. 1 minute and 51 seconds separates Virginia from a huge upset. The timeout story, each club has one, but also 8 yards separates Virginia from a 1st down right here.
Yeah, 8 yards, they win the game. If they don't get a 1st down here, Florida State's going to get the ball.
Groh will work from the shotgun with 3 wideouts and a bad snap. Ball loose on the ground.
They are so fortunate to be able to fall on that ball. I don't know if they were trying to do a direct snap to the back on that play. And you could see George right there saying, I don't believe it. I think they were trying to direct snap that time right to Tiki Barber.
At any rate, Florida State will get its hands on the football one more time. Danny Kanell licking that right throwing hand, and we'll find out what he...
And as we'll show in just a second here, they're lucky to be able to punt this ball right now.
Will Bryce has done a brilliant job punting tonight for Virginia. And we're going to ask him again to hang one up there and let his group get down and not let Feaster have anything. Feaster, fair catch taken, and this one goes in the end zone. So it's the 20-yard line for Florida State. The reason for the punt is this last play.
Tom Laughlin, the center, number 52, forgot or wasn't told that Groh's in the shotgun. He just snapped it up. And fortunately, Tiki Barber, it was going to be a draw. Had he been just going out for a pass, they wouldn't have got the ball. Tiki Barber scooped it up.
Well, when you're trying to beat the number 2 team in the country, sometimes your butt can go numb, I think, with a minute and a half to go. Back there.
Remember, Scott Dreisbach and Michigan in a very similar situation with no timeouts drove the length of the field and scored on the last play to beat them already. This is seeming like deja vu, I think, for this defense.
80 yards away and a minute 37 to work. Kanell sets up, wants a lot of it on the first play. And it's caught inside the 30 by Phil Riley.
Oh, I don't understand that one at all. I think it's incomplete.
Wait a minute.
I don't think he caught it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Florida State sideline thinks he did.
Well, one guy said he caught it, and one guy said no, and they're arguing. What do you mean he didn't catch it? I said he did. I said he didn't. Neither one of them able to watch the replay. Paul London is the guy that's back there. I don't understand the throw. They went for everything with 1:30 to go. Two guys on this deep one, Riley.
Now the officials are going to bring it back.
When in doubt, I guess it's incomplete. Let's see if we can tell with the replay, the benefit of the replay. Riley against London. Who has it? Anybody? I thought maybe if anybody. No, the ball's under his legs right there. If you can roll it back right now. Nobody has the football. That's a Groh play. Watch this ball. It's going to go between his legs on the play. Neither play has it. That's a good call.
So back it comes, 2nd and 10.
One more look from behind, and you're going to see the ball go loose on the ground right there. It's underneath them right there on the ground.
Good call. 2nd and 10, Seminole. Kanell fires, and he goes to the same guy, and this one is caught.
Well, that's what they need. First downs, clocks are going to stop right there.
Move the
Minute
chains.
17 to go. Get it down to their end of the end zone, then you can throw into the zone. Really surprised by that first call to take it all the way down the field in double coverage.
Florida State obviously needs a touchdown, but they don't even need an extra point if they use all the time. They throw the other way, and they get complete to Cooper, who hasn't caught one in a long time, and he's got another first down across the 45 to the 46. And George Welsh is saying, what can I tell these kids after they lose to Michigan on the last play, Texas on the last play, and we're at the Carolina 25-yard line. What if, what if, what if?
Everybody second guesses themselves in these type of games. Tom O'Brien saying, did I remind the center of a shotgun? Everybody says, what could I have done differently?
First down. Kanell, high throw, taken in by Cooper, but he's out of bounds. And Joe Williams was covering. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Remember, in college, if you shove the player out of bounds, he is out of bounds. In the pro, if you shove him out, it counts as a kick.
Florida State does not even give Virginia's defense a chance to breathe. As soon as that official walks away from that ball, they're ready. 2nd and 10. Danny Kanell. Pressured, goes complete to Cooper. And Cooper has got it down to the 41-yard line. That's 42-yard line. It's still good for another first down.
Virginia's linebackers and that zone defense need to back up and make those things happen in front of them. They're getting 15-yard throws that's stopping the clock. They need to let them complete a pass and not have the clock be stopped.
Kanell with the first down. The 43-yard line of Virginia. Backpedals. Has all day and now fires sideline high, but is it caught? No, incomplete.
Now that's the way you got to play that defense. Those linebackers were at 15 yards, and that's going to force Kanell to throw the ball at a 20-yard, and then people have time to react to it.
Bobby Bowden looking on. Mike Groh praying with Tiki Barber on the sideline, I'm sure. And 2nd down and 10, Florida State's offense. Needs a touchdown with 26 seconds left. Will it be done? Nope, they're going to throw wide to Cooper. Out of bounds just in front of the first down marker. It's going to be 3rd down at about 2 feet.
21 seconds to go.
You know,
any completion here, though, stops the clock again.
Ronde Barber, he's been a busy cornerback tonight. 2nd down and about a foot. 3rd down, excuse me. Kanell short to Dunn. Dunn broke a tackle inside the 20 and down to the 12-yard line.
So reminiscent of that play against Florida when he threw the short pass to Dunn and he ran around on Florida and made the plays.
13 seconds. Clock stopped while they move the chains. Let's see if Kanell just downs one here to get his breath.
And 3 more plays if he does.
And he does.
9 seconds to go. Probably will only get off 2 plays. Dunn has put them in a position, though, that they can throw to the end zone each time.
Bobby Bowden, streak of 29 in a row. Victories over conference opponents that started way back when they joined the conference. A penalty marker is down.
Came down late. I think they're saying that Virginia had too many men on the field that time.
participation on the defense. 12 men on the field, half the distance to the goal.
Well, Virginia didn't need that. They didn't need to give Florida State that help.
Two crucial self-inflicted wounds late in this football game by Virginia. Not knowing they were in a shotgun formation, and then too many men on the field has put the ball down on the 6-yard line. 9 seconds to go. And you know what's different now is, now if you take the ball from under center, you probably can make 3 quick throws. The shotgun might only give you 2 throws.
At the 6-yard line. They're ready to celebrate, but we've got 9 seconds left. And there will be no celebration if Florida State scores in the next 2 plays. That's for sure. Defensive coordinator Rick Lance of Virginia says when you play Florida State, it's like playing a basketball game. You got to play the passing lanes. He's going to try to fill them here. Kanell throws it away. 1 play left. And wait a minute, here comes a student body, and that won't help the cause. Get them off the field. This game's not over.
The players from Virginia are waving everybody off the field. One last play. I really think the shotgun cost Florida State 1 play.
Here's the ball game. Virginia leads 33-28, trying to shock the #2 team in the country here in Charlottesville.
The last play of the game for the 3rd time.
You'll know in 4 seconds who wins it. Touchdown! No! No! They say he didn't make it. Virginia's upset Florida State. The domination, the hostile takeover, if you will, of the ACC has come to an end. Virginia has beaten Florida State.
And the guy who stopped him was Ellsworth and London. The 2 safeties were in on that play right at the end of it, I think of it.
Here's the final play of the game.
Dunn, it appeared to me it was a direct snap to Warrick Dunn. He came out. Did his knee come down? Did the ball come loose before he crossed the line? A play is made by the safeties. He did not cross it. There you see the ball. He did not cross the line. London and Burnham, number 37, made the play.
Another look from another angle. Valiant effort by Dunn on the final play of the ball game. And then the feeling of an upset.
So many times, so close, 2 games, and that experience, did it pay off? I don't know, but they sure deserved it.
1 goalpost is already history in Charlottesville. Tonight's Wrangler players of the game from Florida State, E.G. Green, even on a bad hamstring, had a huge night. And from Virginia, Tiki Barber may have fumbled in the 1st quarter, but that's the only thing he did wrong. A career-high 193 yards and a couple of touchdowns tonight. That's the final. You hear more about this upset on SportsCenter. But right now, for Jerry Punch and Gary Danielson, Brad Nessler saying so long from Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. Virginia has upset Florida State.